Kendall Simmons, 315 pounds, voted the best blocker in the SEC. He is a mauler. He wants to get his hands on you, and he wants to destroy you. So in the game of playing in space, you may see Julius Peppers move around a bit and find some different matchups to go along with Kendall Simmons. That takes care of the big guys, which I like to watch, Bill. How about the not-so-big guys? Those two excellent quarterbacks North Carolina has.
Yes, the not-so-big guys led by Ronald Curry, the starter, and the senior for North Carolina. He provides the legwork at the quarterback position. Darian Durant, redshirt freshman, is the air power man at quarterback. And when these two combine and play an alternating series, the record for North Carolina is 7-0. That's because their unselfish leadership is a beacon to the North Carolina Tar Heel team. And Michelle Tafoya, a very wounded Auburn team, is going to have to contend with these two fine quarterbacks.
No question, Bill. Auburn limps into this game, having lost 3 of their last 4 games, but the Tigers are literally limping into this game. Not only are they without top running back Carnell Williams, who is recovering from a collarbone, they are also without their number 2 wide receiver, DeAndre Green, suspended for missing the team's first bowl preparation meeting. Also, defensive lineman Marcus White has a neck injury that could end his career, and backup rover Ronaldo Adamy has left school. In the down but not out category are 5 significant players. Fullback Brandon Johnson suffered a concussion during a recent practice. And look at the defensive side of the ball. Linebacker Mark Brown playing with an ankle injury. Defensive lineman DeMarco McNeil and Spencer Johnson both have bad knees. And defensive back Travaris Robinson is serving a half-game suspension for being ejected from the LSU game for fighting Dave. We won't see him until the second half. Auburn has a lot to overcome.
And they've got a lot to keep up as far as the SEC side of this Peach Bowl rivalry. Their conference has won the last 5 Peach Bowls in a row. First-year head coach John Bunting's two-headed Tar Heel attack has left opposing defenses feeling blue as senior Ronald Curry and his counterpart, the talented freshman Darian Durant, have teamed up to rewrite the Carolina record book en route to a 7-win season. War Eagle is the cry again tonight as Coach Tommy Tuberville and freshman quarterback Jason Campbell look to notch Auburn's 8th win of the season while continuing the Tigers' perfect Peach Bowl record. To do it, they must contain one of the most dominating defenders in the nation, 6'6", 285-pound wrecking ball, Julius Peppers. Carolina and Auburn are ready in the 34th Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Tommy Tuberville in his 3rd year has split his first 2 bowl games as the head coach of the Tigers. John Bunting turned around an 0-3 start, losing at Oklahoma, Maryland, and Texas, winning 7 of the last 9 to make it to the postseason. After a successful career as a linebacker for the Eagles and an assistant coach at several stops along the way back to his alma mater, Chapel Hill. North Carolina wins the toss. Auburn's Joe Walkins back deep alongside Tim Carter. Jeff Reed has it teed up for North Carolina. And we're underway in the Georgia Dome, and this is a kick that will sail over the end line. And Auburn will start from the 20. Redshirt freshman from Taylorsville, Mississippi, Jason Campbell started the year as the starter at quarterback, lost his job briefly to Daniel Cobb, and won it back with a 7-for-7 performance in the 4th quarter against Alabama. With Cadillac Williams missing the game because of the collarbone injured against Alabama, Chris Butler, the starter at tailback, Brandon Johnson, fullback, Marcel Willis, for the suspended DeAndre Green, Tim Carter, and Lorenzo Diamond, the other receiver. Matchup to watch. As we said, the All-America's head-to-head Simmons battling Peppers. In all likelihood, the final game as a Tar Heel for Julius, who expects to lead for the pros early. And a gain of 3 on the first carry of the night for Chris Butler. And the offensive line. Auburn will line up with Simmons, senior from Ripley, Mississippi, alongside McGarry. Now into the middle, Fusillo and Hera on the right side.
Up on the D-line, we've talked about, obviously, Julius Peppers, but keep an eye on Ryan Sims, a 3rd-team All-American. 20 quarterback pressures this year. Doesn't have as many sacks as Julius, but certainly is putting some hits on the QB.
Campbell in the shotgun. And gives to Butler, who was close for the first down, maybe a couple of feet shy at the 29-yard line. The tackle made by Dexter Reed. Bill, the Carolina linebacker.
If you love defense, watch number 30, David Thornton, a walk-on until this year, elected team most valuable player on defense by his teammates, led the team with 131 tackles, all-out football player.
They only intercepted 8 passes all year, and only 2 by defensive backs, both of them by Dexter Reed, the free safety. Thornton, one of the great stories in college football this year. Finally on scholarship. On 3rd and 1, Brandon Johnson, the fullback, does not appear to have the first down. Ryan Simmons with a great forward push from defensive tackle.
Sims made a fantastic play of getting penetration, playing on the Auburn side of the ball. Not letting the running back get upfield at all. He does a great job of making that penetration. A great 1-2 punch. He on the inside and Peppers on the outside. And how about this?
Here comes Tommy Tuberville's first big gamble. He's either going to try to draw him off or he's going to take a heck of a gamble right here in the early stages.
From the looks of things, all he ever wanted to do was draw him off sides. Couldn't do it. They have to burn a timeout. Well, they figured it was worth a try. And now the Tigers will have to kick it away. Auburn still discussing a 4th down and about a half yard on their first possession of the game. Fans very happy this game since 1993 has moved indoors. It's going to be about 25, 26 degrees outside in Atlanta tonight.
Tuberville forced North Carolina to keep their defense on the field to the very last minute.
Now, all SEC punter Damon Duval.
They're spread all over the field.
Who averaged 44 yards per kick. Gets this one off to Michael Waddell for a very short return. And North Carolina in business after just a 34-yard punt by Duval at their 35-yard line. And in his final game in a Tar Heel football uniform, Ronald Curry, the senior from Hampton, Virginia, the National High School Football and Basketball Player of the Year. Unprecedented. Everyone thought he would lead the Tar Heels to national contention year out. It hasn't happened, but he is their all-time total offense leader. And Willie Parker gets the start at tailback. Hedgecock at fullback. Aiken for the suspended Bosley Allen at 1 wideout. Corey Bailey, their top go-to man, also a senior. And the tight end, Zach Hilton. And the Heels came raring to snap it. Held back by the officials. Now set for 1st and 10. Aiken in motion. He was their leading receiver, although not a starter much of the year. And Willie Parker belted after a gain of only about 2 by Spencer Johnson. The offensive line for North Carolina: Wolfter, Wilson, Metz, Terry, and McNeil.
Over on defense, DeMarco McNeil already making his presence felt. Made a terrific play on the first play from scrimmage. Mr. Football in the state of Alabama, coming out of high school in Mobile.
So a gain of 2, and Curry dropping back in the shotgun with 4 wides, 3 on the left side. The quarterback draw read well by the Tigers as he manages only 2 more yards out to the 39. The Auburn linebackers line up this way.
Led by Dontarius Thomas, a sophomore, leading tackler, leader in tackles for loss, 2nd team all SEC. To say he's active, Dave, is an understatement.
In the secondary, Junior Rose Green, a late promotion over Roderick Hood at 1 corner. Walker, Young, and Rogers with 3 freshmen and only Walker a junior, and a very inexperienced Auburn defensive backfield. There's Thomas, twice as many tackles as anybody else on that defense. And Curry again from the gun, blitzed, and in trouble and sacked at the 30. Carlos Dansby came in untouched from outside linebacker. He and Johnson finish off Curry.
What you're seeing here right now, Bill, is we saw Auburn earlier this year, a young team, but an incredibly athletic team. You talked about how these quarterbacks, they can run as well as throw, but what an aggressive defense you see here by Auburn. Taking all the lanes finds a way. You see, he can't go outside and he can't come up the middle. Everything taken away. Good, disciplined rushes. Don't give him the corner.
John Lafferty on 4th and 14, dropping back. Roderick Hood for Auburn. Lafferty just under 40 yards per kick. Junior from Valdez, North Carolina. This is fairly short and nothing allowed on the return. Hit at the 34-yard line immediately by Dexter Reed. 35 on the punt down to Michelle.
Well, Dave, John Bunting likes to inspire his team with messages, and today he told me he took the entire team to the Martin Luther King Jr. Museum, where they watched a 30-minute video that Bunting told me made him well up 2 or 3 times. He said that was a powerful message of courage. I like to emphasize difference makers, and there's no better example than Martin Luther King Jr. I asked my players if it affected them too, and I assure you it did, Dave.
Hard to imagine that not affecting anyone. We'll see how inspired the Tar Heels are. Each team has had to punt it on their first possession. Tim Carter trying to get wide and is swarmed and lost the ball. And the Tar Heels return it inside the 10-yard line. It's Joey Evans.
And a heck of a shot by Michael Waddell. Around the team, he's known as the Rabbit. And you can tell why they call him that when he explodes into this tackle and knocks it into the arms of Joey Evans. Kind of hard to see it in sequence. But Waddell makes the hit right here. Boom, the ball comes out. Evans lives the lineman's dream, something Mike Golick always dreamed of. Did you ever do that, Michael?
Yeah, and I fell on the ball.
Evans returned at 15 yards. Curry first and goal from the 9, and the eye with 2 tight ends. Willie Parker swarmed, and he'll lose 1, and Auburn has forced a loss of yardage on every snap so far. Dontarius Thomas getting there for the hit. Inside the 20 in the last 5 games. North Carolina misfired only once.
In situations, they have to come away with something. The job of the Auburn defense, hold it to a field goal attempt, certainly for North Carolina. Get it over the end zone line and get 7 out of it.
Same thing with 2 tight ends, different side this time, and Parker with room will score. And they look plenty inspired.
Great job. Easy to run in on that one. He got to a couple of great blocks that we'll certainly see again from wide receivers and fullbacks going untouched.
Jeff Reed hit 66 PATs in a row until his last one in the last game of the year. A 35-yarder it turned out to be against SMU because of the penalty. And nails this one, and Parker's 10-yard touchdown run has North Carolina on top of Auburn early in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, 7-0. All set up by the defensive gem by Waddell. North Carolina having to drive only 9 yards after the Tim Carter fumble forced by Waddell, recovered by Evans, and returned 15 yards. Willie Parker on a 2nd and goal from the 10. Goes in untouched, 7-0 Tar Heel. I think the Tar Heel faithful outnumbering the Tigers by a few thousand. Told yesterday they sold 23,000. Auburn about 20,000.
That's the first upset of the evening.
It is indeed, and the citizens of Atlanta, as usual, carrying their fair share of the seats here. The 5th straight sellout. Watkins with the return out to the 27.
Two-back football is based on the blocking ability of the line and the fullback. Number 44, Madison Hedgecock, right here. Perfect form, standing up the linebacker to various pounds to get his back loose.
And I tell you, got some help downfield by Corey Bailey, the wide receiver. Look at that block on Junior Rosegreen. The redshirt freshman from Auburn's got to get rid of the blocker. Corey Bailey, good job of locking up.
Again, we've got Simmons on Peppers. Don't know how long they'll go head-to-head because Peppers usually will move around. Campbell rolling away from him, and the throw on the move is a strike and complete out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Watkins hauls it in for 14 yards. Watkins, redshirt freshman out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
We'll see what happens with this Auburn team. It's a team that would like to run the ball, but they don't have their top rusher, Cadillac Williams. He's out with the clavicle, so Chris Butler and Ronnie Brown are going to carry the load. They combined don't have the number of carries Cadillac Williams had, so a little more pressure on the redshirt freshman, Jason Campbell, tonight at quarterback. He looked good there.
Not so good here. Wow. Evans, who had the fumble return.
Joey Evans is having a career in the first quarter. But Joey's going to show you that Sims and Simmons are not the only D linemen on this front seven. Here's the top. Here's Evans up here. He comes clean. A blown assignment by Mark Pera, 69, the right tackle for Auburn. That's one of those lookout blocks. Look out, my friend.
I don't think Perry yelled look out quite quick enough.
Oh, you can't yell it fast enough.
Butler nailed for loss of 4, and they read the shovel pass perfectly. Ronnie Brown immediately swarmed. Hit first by Dexter Reed. Peppers soon after.
Dexter Reed, a great job with the read. Peppers came on a stunt. He was an end, and he came on a twist, so he ended up in the inside right with Reed to make the play. But you're seeing some great athletic by both teams right now. See that? You see Reed, he's reading it all the way. He's right there, gets the hit. Ronnie Brown trying to shake the tackle of Reed, but Peppers comes in and cleans it up.
Did you call that a read?
Reed did a nice job reading the read for Mr. Reed.
Defenses having their way in the first moments of the first quarter. On 3rd and 18, Campbell swings it out for Brandon Johnson and hit it at 38. Quincy Monk ranging over from middle linebacker, and Johnson, the sophomore from Bayou La Batre, Alabama, will force another Auburn punt.
John Bunting has said repeatedly, you can tell he's an old defensive guy. They're holding us. They're holding us. He said repeatedly, the front seven is the strength of our defense, the strength of our team, and it certainly looks that way so far.
First punt by Duval. Out of character, well under 40. This is also not one of his best efforts. End over end. Waddell breaking one tackle. And then corralled. Finally, at the 26-yard line by Carlos Rogers. This one carries 42 yards. ESPN kicks off your New Year's Day with a rematch of last year's Outback Bowl at 11 a.m. Eastern. Jonathan Wells and the Ohio State Buckeyes looking to avenge last year's 24-7 loss to Lou Holtz's South Carolina Gamecocks. And linebacker Kalimba Edwards hopes to lead them to another New Year's Day victory. Capital One Bowl week continuing with the Outback Bowl on ESPN tomorrow morning.
Steve Belisario, quarterback for Ohio State, who was suspended for the DUI, is going to play in that game, which will be his last game.
Darian Durant will have his first series at quarterback. And the redshirt freshman out of Florence, South Carolina, again sees the running game stuffed. Parker, fresh off his touchdown run, does well maybe to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Hey, the defensive line right now, Bill, is playing on the offensive side of the ball for both teams. They're making great penetration. That time, DeMarco McNeil.
With the exception of the one play when North Carolina took it in the end zone, the defensive lines have dominated the offensive lines.
Of course, Curry, the better runner. Durant, by far the better passing numbers this year, second in the ACC in pass efficiency. And his first of this day is thrown complete to Danny Davis. Davis, a senior, run out of bounds at the 31-yard line by Tavarius Pounds.
Teams looking to see what they can do right now. We're seeing a variety of plays. We haven't really seen anything go downfield. The one pass that went about maybe a dozen yards that Campbell threw, but other than that, nothing really going on downfield. It seems, Bill, at this point, kind of a safe approach for both teams.
Yeah, and that's when turnovers make such a difference, as we've already seen.
Curry looking on. Durant trying to keep his first series alive, looking at a 3rd and 5 with 3 wides. And a shotgun. Rushed hard from both ends, gets it off to Parker. Parker needing to make an open field move, and a dive may get the first down marker. Right at the 37, he beat Roderick Hood and Carlos Rogers there, it looked like.
Oh, is he close?
Yeah, I'll tell you who else is close. That guy right there, Alton Moore, number 90, is so close to a big sack. Beautiful move, a button jerk coming off the left side. You can see him working on the right tackle. Nice pull, arm over, boom.
Oh, he
Good
drove
pass
into the
rush.
ground. That was a great pass rush.
By a nose.
Oh, I meant to say, I think they made it.
Yeah, good, Mike. Jason Brown, the true freshman right tackle for North Carolina, getting a little pass rush lesson from the veteran Alton Moore, who blocked 3 kicks this year at critical times for this Auburn team.
So Carolina with the first down by inches from the 37. Chesley Borders into the game at 1 wide out. That's him in motion. And Parker looks for an angle off tackle. Lunges forward for a couple. Down to Michelle.
Well, Dave, Durant has really made his presence felt at North Carolina. As a freshman, he has broken the school's quarterback strength records with a 355 bench, a 595 squat, and a 309 power clean. And Mike, if those are his numbers now, how high might they go by his junior or senior seasons?
You mean when he grows up?
Yeah, when he, gets big like you.
When he well, I got big in the gut area. I don't think he's going to do that. He is an incredible specimen that's going to set all kind of records, more than he's set obviously right now.
Bill, did linemen lift those numbers?
I'm embarrassed to answer that. I don't want to answer that question.
Durant throwing that one away on the run in the area of Zach Hilton, his tight end.
I'm standing here praying that nobody would ask me.
Well, Bill,
I was a starting lineman in the NFL, and this kid's a freshman quarterback, and he's stronger than I ever was.
Well, quite honestly, Bill, going from your era to my era to now, I mean, the field of strength conditioning has really grown. Obviously, it was going to, but the kids nowadays start working out a lot earlier. They have better workout equipment now and better programs now than we ever did.
I don't have an excuse, though. My dad was a weightlifting guy. I should have been lifting when I was 10 years old, but I wanted to pitch for the Yankees.
I tried to help you there, Bill. I tried.
Tough 3rd down team this year, North Carolina. They need 8 here, and Aiken is going to be just short. Made a nice catch, reached up, snagged it at the 46, and they'll mark him right there, hit immediately by Roderick Hood.
And that's the key word you just said, Dave. Immediately. No yards after the catch there, and that's what you want. Whenever you throw like an in route or a slant pattern, that's before the sticks on 3rd down. That's what you need out of your receiver to try and break away from that defensive back. Hood able to hold on for the tackle.
We're already seeing what North Carolina wants to get done on offense with the 2 quarterbacks. Ronald Curry can throw pretty well, but he runs better. Darian Durant runs pretty well, but he throws better.
Got him 1 first down, and just short on this effort. Lafferty, a very short effort. It is muffed, but Hood hops right on it at the 25. Only a 29-yard punt by Lafferty. And Auburn, which has already been burned by 1 giveaway, came precariously close to another one. So Julius Peppers and the Tar Heel defense. Peppers making it known, 95% certain he's headed to the NFL after this game.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the 2001 Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl is brought to you by Discovery Card for the slightly smarter consumer, and by the Intel Pentium 4 processor, the center of your digital world.
Dramatic nighttime view of the Georgia State Capitol here in Atlanta, where, as we might have expected, the defenses have had the upper hand early. Auburn in the upper 3rd of the SEC defensively, looking down from the press box of the Georgia Dome. And North Carolina's #1 ranked ACC defense, 15th in the country, has held Auburn to just 13 total yards on their first 2 possessions. This starts with a toss sweep to Chris Butler. And Butler will pick up 5 on first down. Michael Waddell from quarterback for another tackle.
Julius Peppers looking like anything but a basketball player. He looked like an excellent football player. The tight end trying to block down on him, sheds him like a rag doll and runs to the football. Nice job. This guy's upside potential is unlimited.
He is a great, as we talked about earlier,
marvelous football player. And they're not putting him on Simmons very much, but he's on him right now.
Makes how he finished the year a little mysterious. Only 1 sack over about the last month, and that was on the very last play of the last game against SMU. Butler hit behind the line, keeps the feet chugging forward, and will manage a gain of about another 3 to set up 3rd and 2. Chased down by Peppers again, and Quincy Monk.
Well, but I tell you what, Peppers got taken off the line a little bit. Here's the matchup we're talking about. Here you see Simmons got into him, takes him down the line, stays on him. Like we said, when Kendall Simmons gets his hands on you, he is tough to get rid of, and Peppers finally did. Unfortunately,
got those feet moving, man.
Woo,
he's all man. He's too tough.
Got him out for a breather here on 3rd and 2. Ronnie Brown in at running back. Campbell out of the gun. And fires over the middle, complete to Marcel Willis. Junior from Jacksonville, Florida, bothered by a sprained foot much of the season, and he gets the start with DeAndre Green suspended after missing the first meeting for bowl practice sessions. Tommy Tuberville decided to lay down the line early, send him home, and Willis got his job for this game.
Mike, I want to continue this conversation about Peppers. He's going to be a great football player, but right now he plays kind of high, and a guy like Simmons just gives him fits, knocking hhim off the ball.
1st and 10 from the 44. Brown takes the toss for 9 yards, and Auburn finally has a little something going with a running game.
And they've lived by the run. I mean, that's been there at 437 rushes this year, 303 passes. So certainly they want to be a running team. And Brown did a great thing here when he got to the outside. There were a few North Carolina players there. He got his shoulder pads north and south. He got them low, and he just ran straight ahead and got what he could get. And 9 yards, I'd say, is pretty good.
All freshman SEC, starter early and late. So the LSU game was decided the West after Carnell Williams' injury against Alabama. Tuberville said a really different team without Cadillac Williams. Willis for the first down and knocked out immediately by Waddell, but Auburn continues to march, and the chains move up now to the 40 of North Carolina.
In fact, Dave, he said something that really surprised me. He said, when we lost Cadillac Williams in the Alabama game, we disintegrated. He said, our team just came unglued, and he said, we really haven't gotten it back together, and we've got to do that for this bowl game. So the bowl practices were really crucial for this young Auburn football team, and it certainly looks like they've made progress.
Campbell in the 4th quarter of that game, coming off the bench, hit 7 for 7, and in the 1st quarter tonight has hit 5 out of 5, 27 yards. Carter in motion, but still on the ground. Brown does well to cut back just to the line of scrimmage into the arms of Ryan Sims.
It's been nothing fancy for Auburn at this point. Again, with their best rusher out, they're just methodically moving it down, not going for the big play, moving the sticks, and that's what they're able to do. This first quarter is almost over. It's gone by pretty fast. The ball has stayed in the middle of the field pretty much the whole quarter.
I'll tell you, on that play, Peppers stalemated Kendall Simmons, stood him up at the line of scrimmage and skated down. So he's already learning and getting better from playing against this good opponent.
And you saw Cadillac there briefly. They did let him suit up, but they said after 6 weeks to heal, if he wasn't 100% with that collarbone, they would not send him out there, and they decided yesterday he wasn't. Campbell fighting hard on the keeper to the 37. First hit by Dexter Reed on what will end the 1st quarter. And the Tigers will start the 2nd. Looking at 3rd and 6. Disappointing that Carnell Cadillac Williams, the freshman parade All-America, Alabama's Mr. Football last year, can't take part in this one. But doing his best as a cheerleader with the Tigers trailing after one, 7-0. Second quarter now, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl from Atlanta. You don't see North Carolina Auburn too often. Even less do you see the unsuspecting Carolina cheerleaders. With the sneak attack from the Chick-fil-A cow mascot. Didn't deter him once. Here's 3rd and 6. Just the 6th meeting ever between these two. Pass batted up in the air. And it is intercepted, I think, but no official signal. Now it is intercepted. Errol Hood coming away with it for North Carolina, their second takeaway.
Julius Peppers got the pressure, and I believe David Thornton, the linebacker, tipped the ball. See Peppers coming from the right of your screen, and there the ball tipped by number 30, Thornton. Pops in the air. It's a free-for-all now.
Oh, Errol Hood really took a shot
he did.
here. He's down. Have to hope it's just a minor injury, but excellent awareness on his part.
Ben Nowlin, the center.
That's 290 hitting you.
Yep. Great pass rush by Julius Peppers. Nice awareness by Thornton to get his hands up. Now we'll just have to see on Hood.
Carolina got only 8 interceptions in the regular season in 12 games. That's just the 3rd by a defensive back. Reed had 2.
The biggest statistical disparity coming into this game is that North Carolina had a turnover margin of -11 on the year. Auburn was at flat 0, even on the giveaway takeaway. But North Carolina's already gotten 2 in this game, so they're up 2 in, I think, the most important category in winning games.
Oh, absolutely. In a game, especially this one, where both offenses have been pretty conservative and both defenses have been playing well, these mistakes, we'll see how this one plays out. But Auburn had a nice drive going until North Carolina just snuffed it out.
So Hood appears to be okay. As we check our ESPN game track through one quarter, the big play early. Their first takeaway, Tim Carter separated by Waddell, recovered by Joey Evans to the 9.
And off the takeaway, a Willie Parker touchdown behind wonderful blocking.
Talked about the matchup, Peppers and Simmons. They've been on each other a few times. Pepper with 3 tackles, and we just saw that pressure on Jason Campbell. Then the tip by Thornton right there for the interception, causing the interception.
Durant again, the quarterback. New tailback, true freshman Jock Lewis out of Elizabeth City, North Carolina, and a gain of about 4.
Coach Bunting and his offensive coordinator really think that these 2 quarterbacks need to go 2 series at a time. So they don't just leave them in for 1. They go 2 series at a time. Gary Tranquil, the veteran offensive coordinator, just joined North Carolina this year, and it has worked beautifully for this Tar Heel team.
Very hospitalized with a lung infection a couple of weeks ago. Had to fight hard just to make this game. Lewis again down to Michelle.
Dave, I'm with Atlanta's mayor-elect Shirley Franklin. 34 years of the Peach Bowl in this city. How important is this bowl to Atlanta?
Oh, it's very important. We are the sports capital of the world, and we're excited to be hosting the 34th Peach Bowl.
Boy, there are a lot of mayors who would love to argue with you on that point. Now, I got to ask you, the convergence of these 2 conferences in this city, are you rooting one way or the other?
Well, no, I'm rooting for both teams, but I'm real excited to have all the fans here.
Shirley Franklin, you see why she was elected. Congratulations. Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Michelle.
3rd and 3 scramble, and Durant caught for loss. Spencer Johnson comes up with the sack. His coaches think he may be better than the headliner on the defensive front for Auburn. His fellow tackle, DeMarco McNeely, looked better on that play.
And Darius Thomas, the linebacker, came from the outside, and he forced quarterback up the field for Johnson. Here you see Darius making Durant step up. And then there's Spencer Johnson to finish him off. Boy, these guys move well lateral. Look at Johnson move laterally. Great job. Great athletic ability again. Both these defenses. Very impressive.
Is that how you used to do it?
Yeah, okay.
Auburn with its second timeout. 12:59, second quarter. 7-0. An Atlanta landmark for many a decade, the Fox Theater.
Oh, that's what it is. I thought it was Fox Television.
Bill,
Why are we showing now?
Bill, you no doubt patronized them early and often growing up, didn't you?
Many, many times.
Well, Carolina again having to kick it away. John Lafferty unloads his best of the night. Ronald Curry backs up to the 10. Corey Bailey getting in a good shot at the 17. This is a 48-yarder by Lafferty. January 2nd, All-American quarterback Rex Grossman leads Florida as they take on ACC champion Maryland in the FedEx Orange Bowl. Coverage begins live at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC. Home of the Bowl Championship Series, and we'll have a call for you on ESPN Radio. And first-year coaches had some spectacular success at Miami, Maryland, and BYU, although Gary Crowton didn't end it on a very happy note with a loss to Hawaii and today in the Liberty to Louisville. But Larry Coker and Ralph Friedgen still alive in the postseason as Campbell, who hit his first 5 and then was intercepted, sees Simmons move early on the left side. We're told that Errol Hood, who has returned, just had the wind knocked out of him.
Ball start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Big 12 crew. John Bible, the referee.
Now, I'm on record as saying Kendall Simmons is going to do a heck of a job on Julius Peppers, but now Kendall's getting a little rattled and blowing the snap count. I wonder if Peppers is getting inside his head a little bit.
Got a little antsy there.
Two great players out there. This is fun to watch.
Fun to get to see him on Sundays, too, starting next year.
We'll see him. We'll see him for a long time, both of them.
Not that he'll need it, but Kendall has that artistic talent to fall back on. Peppers only 1 sack over the last 4 games. Simmons designed the inside of the media cover for Auburn and his own line of T-shirts. And Auburn really backed up now as only to the 13-yard line on that carry by Ronnie Brown. Michelle?
Talking about Julius Peppers, Dave, his full name, Julius Frazier Peppers. His dad, George Kearney, named him Julius after Dr. J, and Frazier after Walt Frazier. And Peppers was born in 1980, the same year Lawrence Taylor set the single-season sack record at North Carolina with 16. And Peppers almost got those 16. Last season, he had 15, 1 short, Dave.
Bunting says he's a powerful Lawrence Taylor or Javon Curse. Used to be mentioned in the same breath. A pretty high honor itself. Joe Watkins hit immediately after the short toss to the 16 by Michael Waddell, who's having himself a terrific first half.
Boy, he absolutely is. Again, a great job not getting the yards after the catch. Both defenses, good coverage. You see Waddell playing off, giving him the space. Okay, you're going to catch it in front of me, fine, but you're going nowhere after that. That's what you have to do when you're playing off in that zone. You know they're going to catch it in front of you because they had a long way to go, but make the tackle after the catch, just like Waddell did.
4th tackle tonight by Waddell and a forced fumble as well. 3rd and 12 for Campbell. They are coming after it. Out of desperation and a flag at the end of the Campbell pass, and they may get roughing the passer. Is it going to be? No, it's going to be intentional grounding. I thought maybe he got himself outside of the box.
Well, he didn't throw the ball beyond the line of scrimmage. It doesn't matter where you are. You have to throw the ball beyond the line of scrimmage, even if you're outside the tackle box.
Intentional grounding on the offense. Penalty is loss of down at the spot of the foul. 4th down.
Loss of down, spot of the foul, 1-yard line. Bunting wanted the safety, but that's a good call. Everything about the call is correct.
They kind of brought the house here. You're going to see Dexter Reed, 24, coming in untouched. They take care of the guard, Simmons, and the tackle, McGarry. They make sure they have their men, and Reed comes right up in between them. Free as a bird.
4th and 27. Raymond Duvall as far back as you can get. They come after Damon too, but he unloads his best punt of the night. A long shot. Waddell backed up to his 40. And then loose for a bit along the sideline, and the Tar Heels will set up at the Auburn 40-yard line after a 53-yarder by Damon Duval.
I tell you,
Mazzoni, the offensive coordinator, let Campbell know exactly what needed to happen, although he was besieged as soon as he got that ball. I'm not sure what else he could have done.
There wasn't a lot he could do on that. And what's happened here, we've seen change of field position. When Auburn had the interception, they were driving, they were in North Carolina territory. They give it up. North Carolina pins Auburn. Now North Carolina gets good field position after Auburn punts, so field position game.
Only 28 total yards. Curry back in. And Curry swarmed on a loss of 2.
Curry is the total offense leader for all time for the University of North Carolina, over 6,000 yards. Over 1,200 of those yards come from rushing, and his tendency when things start to break down is to pull the ball down and explode. His mobility will be the key to the time that he's in the game. When he can run for first downs, then he can sustain drives.
All those superlatives, and yet he knows that so many Carolina fans look back on his career as a disappointment.
Well, he's the all-time leader.
An Achilles early in his career that cost him a basketball season, half a football season. And Alton Moore gets to him with this latest Auburn sack.
And that's a coverage sack. You saw Curry in the pocket, pat, waiting for someone to come open. Good coverage downfield. You can't stand in the pocket that long with something bad's going to happen to you. And Alton Moore got there for the sack, but he can go back and thank the DBs and the linebackers as you see this coverage. See on the outside, he's got nowhere to go with the ball.
Well, they started at the Tiger 40. This snap comes from their own 49-yard line. Curry again feeling the pressure, steps up to throw on the run. A near sliding catch by Bailey at the 20.
Oh, they're mixing it up a little bit.
They're mixing it up, and Curry's 46% completion rate is what Tar Heel fans have complained about. And while he and Durant have been admirable in the way they've led the team this year and being unselfish, he still makes his living with his legs.
Bill, are we seeing what we thought we'd see in the Seattle Bowl, Georgia Tech and Stanford? The offenses took charge with the long layoff from the end of the season to the bowl game. Defenses usually are ahead of the offense, and it seems like we're seeing that tonight.
That's right.
So another Lafferty punt and another good one. They're caught 6-yard line by Hood.
And a mistake by the veteran punt returner. You put his heels on the 10-yard line, and you say, if the ball goes over your head, Roderick, let it go.
45-yarder. Entertaining mano-a-mano duel going on between Simmons and Peppers in a 7-0 Peach Bowl. North Carolina leading 7-0 despite only 17 total yards. Auburn has only 49. And they're backed up to their own 6-yard line. Errol Hood, we were told after he got popped by Ben Nowland after his interception, just had the wind knocked out of him. But now you see him fitted for an extra right shoulder brace. The senior from Lenoir, North Carolina, being replaced right now by Kevin Knight.
Well, running out of time.
And just does get the snap in time, and all kinds of room, and now whistles. Maybe he didn't get it off in time. Cassinius Moore's first carry.
Before the snap, delay of game on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Is wiped out.
Both these teams are fairly heavily penalized. Auburn averages 68.1 yards per game penalties. You sure don't want them down in here, inside your 5.
Now we've seen Butler around. Now we see Moore at tailback. Moore working mostly at wide receiver for this game. And again, he's got some room. But on 1st and 15, out to the 11, and hit there by David Thornton.
That gave him a little bit of breather. It looked like they ran the same play. And I tell you what, Marcel Willis, a wide receiver for Auburn, if he threw a block downfield like we saw Corey Bailey do from North Carolina, he may still be running right now. The wide receivers have got to get in to those defensive backs and help your running backs out.
Moore got 5 starts on a year tailback. Best game, 160 yards against Mississippi State. And a last-second wins. Tripped up by Thornton again, just as he's ready to get the first down, and they'll mark him a couple yards shy.
Here we go. Kendall Simmons, Julius Peppers. Again, when Simmons gets his hands on you, it's going to be over. Play ran away. Peppers not able to come down the line. Again, Peppers is a better player in space. Kendall Simmons is a better player up close. So who can put themselves in the best position is going to win these battles.
And now he's on the tight end, Lorenzo Diamond, head-to-head on 3rd and 2. And Moore swarmed for no gain.
I'll tell you who made that play, Michael. You'll love this. Ryan Sims, number 87, the best dressed and best looking player on the field by his own admission.
Oh, and limping, that's not good there.
He took Ben Nowlin and drilled him in the backfield. That's a bad feeling when you're the center lined up right here. He's going to take the whole thing back in the backfield. No place to go. Too big a pile. 2 yards deep in the backfield. No first down. Nice job, Sim.
Through the center, 3 yards in the backfield.
Yeah, just whipped him.
Got his foot rolled on, too. That will bear watching. Duval unloading punts now. Waddell turns it into a nice return across the 40. 61 yards, the longest punt of the year by Duval, and Waddell returns at 16. Hit there by Carlos Danfee. 7-0 North Carolina, midway in the second.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the 2001 Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl is presented by Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. And in part by Dodge. Get somewhere. Grab life by the horns. Dodge.
Early years of the Peach Bowl took place in Atlanta Fulton County Stadium on days just like today in the 30s, gloomy weather. That all ended when the Georgia Dome was constructed, and this game really took off and has become a year-in, year-out success for the city of Atlanta. This a defense-dominated first half. Tar Heels get it on the ground to Willie Parker, who started at tailback. We have not seen Andre Williams, who was listed all month as the starter, carried even once so far. It's been Parker and Jock Lewis, tailback for the Tar Heels.
That field position is a very important number. North Carolina's really had the advantage because of the turnovers, but Duval's putting on a punting performance here that's really helping keep his team from giving up any more points than they have.
Last couple times they've had it, Carolina has done nothing with tremendous field position. Curry gets this one completed midfield, and they're again just short of the first down. Tavarius Pounds there to hit Sam Aiken down to Michelle.
Well, Dave, in March, Curry became engaged to his college sweetheart, Stacey Jones. Now, here's how he proposed. He asked her to massage his old Achilles injury. Reluctantly, she agreed, but as she looked more closely at his left foot, she noticed a note between his toes. The note wrote of their relationship and what his life would be like without her. Then she noticed something on the right foot. And yes, it was an engagement ring on the pinky toe. You know, what girl could refuse?
Oh, I have no idea what to say about that.
You'll think of something.
Well, it was invented. Aiken surrounded. They only needed one. They're going to lose 5.
7 Auburn players around the ball. Rashad Walker leading the way. That is incredible hustle. We've seen it by both these defenses. No explanation. Just watch those guys in the dark jersey get to the ball. It's a pursuit drill. You work on it every day in practice. Get to the ball. Here they come. Ronald Curry's walking away before the tackle's even made. He knows no way they were getting that.
Hey, Ronald said, I made a good throw. I can't block them for you.
So the punting duel continues. Lafferty just saw Duval nail a 61-yarder. This one returned by Hood with a flag down. 36 on the kick, 3 on the return. Flag wasn't thrown at the time you usually see a halo violation called.
That's probably what it is.
Interference with the opportunity to catch the kick on the kicking team. Non-contact foul. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And Michael Waddell with his first error of the night, but one of aggressiveness and one of those things that happens when you're playing as hard as Waddell is. What a performance he's putting on for us here and for his team.
Not much in this game for the offenses, but the defenses have to be delighted. John Lovett's group for Auburn, fourth-year coordinator, and John Tenuta, the defensive coordinator for the Tar Heels, his first year after 5 at Ohio State. Both teams combined have totaled 83 yards. 60 of those by Auburn. And Campbell again blitzed by Quincy Monk, the middle linebacker. Every blitzer untouched, it seems.
And that was 5-on-5, Bill. There's 5 linemen. They brought 5, but they overloaded to the left side of the defensive side. And Monk was able to come through clean. You're absolutely right, Dave. Every blitz we've seen, the blitzer has come through clean for both teams. Look at the left of the screen.
Yep, they walked the outside backer Perry off, and he occupied the back so that Monk had no blocker. The back made a mistake. He should have picked up the inside of the two.
Campbell shifting Cassinius Moore after a loss of 8. Quick toss blocked this time by Tim Carter. No doubt hearing the footsteps of Dexter Reed right in his path. It'll be 3rd and 18.
Again, we're not seeing many passes downfield. 3rd and 18. You think you might see one, but I have a feeling we're going to see a route 8-10 yards, and they'll ask the receiver to get the rest unless they want to take a shot down the field. Very conservative on offense. People looking at this game seeing the least amount of yards, Dave, that you talked about, just 7-0. But I'll tell you what, I think this has been a fantastic game. You're seeing some great hustle by these defenses.
See if they come after him. 3rd and 18. Campbell chased out of trouble, looks up and finds Moore, and Moore hit immediately at the 22 by Julius Pepper.
Wow. Mike, is that playing on space or what?
That is playing it. That's stopping the fast break.
Hey,
is what that's doing.
That guy needs to be standing up to play. Really, he can fly.
Again, we talked about the top play in space, playing. He's on the right side of the screen. They're going to try a twist first. He's going to come underneath. Then he's just going to follow the ball, follow the quarterback. That's hustle again. Pursuit. If he's not there, nobody else is.
Last time Duval knocked down a season-best 61-yarder, not quite that much through the air, maybe with the roll. Where's this one going to end up? Still going down to the 11-yard line. And the all-SEC punter, Damon Duval, junior out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, has his best 2 punts of the year. 61 last time, this one with the roll, 67 yards. Well, there is your Auburn player of the half. Damon Duval has averaged 52.6 on 5 punts, and his last one a Peach Bowl record, 67-yarder. Now, it's not saying a whole lot for everybody else offensively if he's your player of the game, but no doubt he is, and they again have no field position. North Carolina offensively starts at their own 11.
And what this did, guys, is with 3:09 left, if Auburn, they've been playing great defense, if they can get a 3 and out, they could get some good field position to at least get a field goal range before the half.
Durant, the quarterback, quick hitter up the middle, into the clear. Willie Parker still going. Roderick Hood with an angle on him. Parker cuts back the other way, and finally at the 46 of Auburn. 43 yards, chased down by Dante Booker.
Never mind.
And the young offensive line for North Carolina gelling at a very propitious time. The guys up front, Adam Metz, really made the hole. The center, number 60, blocking back. Beautiful work by Jeb Terry, Jupiter Wilson, and Metz to spring the big back into the secondary.
That is the first down for either team in the second quarter. And on first down, reaching the 44-yard line, for North Carolina. First carry, Andre Williams. Reese Davis, what do you have at the half?
Well, coming up at the half, Dave, we'll talk more about Tyrone Willingham's departure from Stanford and headed to Notre Dame and where it leaves the Cardinal. As a result of that, the Game Day gang out in Pasadena getting ready for the Rose Bowl. We'll check in with Chris Fowler and friends. And also, we'll look ahead to the Outback Bowl, the rematch from last year, and how Ohio State is approaching that. We'll see you at the half.
Previous offense totaled 23 yards before that 43-yard burst by Parker. Now Durant throwing that one, with the defender hanging all over him and caught out of bounds by Chesley Borders. A near sack by Rashad Walker, the blitzing Rover.
Rashad Walker's got to make this play. He's got to at least get the arm of the quarterback. Don't let the quarterback get the ball off. He's coming free. He breaks down. Wrap up on the arm. Got to be able to make that play. That would have been a big, big play. Auburn's chance to try and get the ball back.
See if they can stop a 3rd and 8. Only allowed 2 first downs all half. 2:03 to go in the half. Coming after him again. And complete Aiken. Crossing over to the 20. Walker can't hang on to him. Aiken, does he stay in bounds? They'll mark him out just short at the 3. 41 yards on his own by Sam Aiken.
Nice stiff arm by Aiken on Rashad Walker and Junior Green. See, again, you're asking the receiver to make the yards. Here come the stiff arms. There's one on Walker here on Rose Green. Great job keeping him off to get the extra yards. Yards after the catch. We hadn't seen it much tonight.
1st and goal from the 3. North Carolina looks to add to a 7-0 lead. And stuff for a loss on 1st down. Williams, who sees his only action of the half on this series. Dante Booker again there, junior out of Akron, Ohio. Boy, Carolina offense that had mostly gone backwards, had not managed a 1st down in the entire 2nd quarter until that run by Parker. Now they get that Auburn defense loosened up enough that Aiken can knife through almost all 11 defenders to get him down to 1st and goal. Now they back up again. 2nd down will come from the 5. Aiken left, Bailey right. Durant short drop. And batted down. He was looking for Corey Bailey in the middle of the end zone. DeMarco McNeil, it looked like, got a hand up.
Yeah, he wasn't getting the pass rush, so he just read the eyes of the quarterback and threw up a big paw. 6'2", 295-pounder. I don't think he got any vertical here, Bill. Maybe an inch. You might have been able to slide a dollar bill under him. 92 you're going to see. Just get the paw up. I think he got up on his toes maybe, but you know what? He blocked it.
The feet were still attached to the ground firmly.
Again, you're taught if you're not getting the rush, read the quarterback's eyes, try and get in the throwing lane. Good job by McNeil.
Aiken in motion. Danny Davidson wide left. 3rd and goal from the 5. Another one batted down, and this one almost intercepted by Carlos Dansby.
Carlos Dansby is the playmaker on the Auburn defense. They look to this guy to be the man to make critical plays, and he almost came down with that football. Had he been able to, he might have had a chance to go the whole way. He moved over from offense last spring. He's just got a knack for being where the football, he almost catches this thing. Really disappointed with himself. You can tell from the body language. Oh, man.
So Jeff Reed on to try 22-yarder. 12 out of 16 for the year, and he has it 10-0 North Carolina. Bunting finally gets big plays out of his offense by Parker and Aiken. 10-0 North Carolina, which had a 7-0 lead, largely because of a huge defensive play. A forced fumble after a catch by Tim Carter. They drove only 9 yards for the touchdown. And again, they had 23 total yards until the 43-yard run, second longest of the year by a Tar Heel, by Parker. And then the big play catch and run by Aiken got it down to the 3. There they settled for 3, and Carter decides to run this one out. Jim Carter, a nice return out to the 30, and 48 seconds on the clock for the Tigers to work with.
Carolina defense tonight, the ACC's leading defense, giving up 305 yards a game on the year, showing just why they're so good. Waddell knocked the ball loose. The ball tipped at the line of scrimmage, a big interception. David Thornton with the tip. Big sack by Monk, middle linebacker, tough guy.
Only one timeout. Auburn, remember, used one early after unsuccessfully trying to draw the Tar Heels offside in a 4th and 1 around their own 30 on their first possession. And that cost them a bit here. One of the best thrown passes of the first half by Campbell for Silas Daniels, and they will rule him inbounds and very close to a first down.
It's a matchup again. Kendall Simmons, Julius Peppers. We've been talking about. Bleed's going to get some help this time. Back, Ronnie Brown is going to lend in. He just chips him a little bit and then would go out. Just a little help.
Daniels got him about 9.5 yards.
Oh,
and
boy.
Campbell not ready for that snap. Takes a foot race back at the 20. And the Tigers avoid a total disaster by at least recovering the snap that nobody expected. But Nowlin threw back there anyway. Ronnie Brown wins the foot race.
Well, you saw McGarry, the guard, and Kendall Simmons, the tackle, pointing. They were trying to figure out who was coming where. Campbell's not looking. You're going to see Ronnie Brown start to motion to the other side. Campbell turns, and Nowlin snaps the ball. Serious miscommunication there.
One of the joys of being the offensive center, this is the only time you get your name called when you do something like this, but it does appear that Nowlin simply missed the communication. Normally there's a silent snap count. The center snaps it when he wants to. Obviously he thought he had the go-ahead to do that.
Like Jason Campbell was changing the play. The line was working on the protection. They were pointing people out because North Carolina was stepping up with the defense. Boy, I tell you what, they could have avoided disaster right there if North Carolina would have got possession.
So Carolina calls their first time out with 15 seconds, and 3rd and 21 coming. So Bunting hoping they can get the stop here.
Absolutely.
And still have a few seconds either for an attempt at a block punt or a return, and maybe time for one snap after that.
I think you'll see.
They'll get the stop. I mean, they'll get the stop, and I
think they'll go after the punt.
To punt the ball. Yeah,
I think they'll go after the punt. I don't know how much time they'd have to actually get a return and get a playoff. I think they'll go all out to block that punt, because even if they rough the punter, Damon Duval, I still don't think Auburn would have enough time if they got a first down on the roughing to get all that yardage for to get some score, get some points on the board.
And coming up, the Dodge College Game Day halftime report. Busy day in the postseason. This is the 3rd of our triple header on ESPN. And Auburn looking at only 46 total yards and a shutout in the first half. Big plays. The story for the Tar Heels, turned it offensively and defensively. Brown tries to run the clock out, does a pretty good job out to the 32, and the Carolina timeout call with 7 seconds.
If Waddell didn't have to go back there as the punt returner, you could put him up there to block the kick, because obviously he can do anything. Yeah. The guy is such a heck of a player. He's been a force tonight.
The Detroit Red Wings, led by their 3 600-goal scorers, Steve Yzerman, Luc Robitaille, and Brett Hull, host Paul Correa, and the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. Wednesday night hockey presented by Nextel, 8 Eastern on ESPN.
Bad. Get Brett Hull, Dominic Hasek. Doing all right.
Kind of the Yankees of hockey, buying up as many big names as they can.
Saw a lot of stars in the NHL this year change teams. Something you hadn't seen, and getting paid big money. That's a sport that CBA, I believe, runs out in 2004, and They might be looking at some interesting times because they don't get the TV money the other sports get. So, and they're giving out some big coin. It's going to be interesting how they work out their issues that may come about.
Is that where they have that little thing that they hit on the ice with a stick?
Remember, stay very basic for him.
Sorry about that.
So Duval will try to continue his record-setting ways. Last effort, a Peach Bowl record 67-yarder. Not bad here. Waddell, though, with room for the return. And runs out the first half clock with a 17-yard return. 48 on that blast by Duval. And North Carolina, a slight favorite in this Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, rides big plays to a 10-0 halftime lead for John Bunting, who's with Michelle.
Coach, it had been all defense until that last sequence, and still they held you to a field goal. Where are the offensive opportunities in the second half?
Well, you hope that we can get something going, a little more rhythm. They're knocking down a lot of passes on the line of scrimmage with our quarterback, so we've got to do a better job up front with our offensive line, or else we're not going to be able to do much offensively at all.
Meanwhile, your defense is pitching a shutout. Is this a pace they can maintain 4 quarters?
Oh, this is a tough defense. This is a good defense, and they're in great condition. They're going to play hard for 4 quarters, I promise you that.
Coach, thank you very much.
Thank you.
The Auburn locker room got some issues to discuss, namely, how do they get some offense? 10-0 they trail. We send you to Reese.
And Carolina defense for John Bunting almost made a big play, too, on that snap that got away. The miscommunication, Auburn dodging a bullet there. Coming up on the Dodge halftime report, they've been tracking him like NORAD looking after Santa, and the Eagle has landed. More precisely, the Cardinal has landed, and he is now head of the Fighting Irish. Tyrone Willingham, the new head coach, we will discuss in a bit.
Back at the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl and on the field at the Georgia Dome, the North Carolina Tar Heel marching band. Well, with 10-0, obviously there's a lot of superlatives when you look at the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, for North Carolina, they managed 107 yards, and 84 of those 107 came on 2 plays that set up the 3 points. Other than that, they don't have a lot to be happy about offensively.
No, but defensively, they're thrilled because their front 7 is absolutely dominating, led by Julius Peppers, who is more than holding his own with Kendall Simmons. So what's Auburn got to do?
Well, an aggressive defense like North Carolina, look for maybe some draws, some screens, try and take advantage of that aggressiveness of that North Carolina defense.
So these ESPN game track through the first half showing the big play early, the tipped interception brought in by Errol Hood.
And the touchdown behind superb blocking. Willie Parker running it in, the only touchdown of the game.
And we've talked about that North Carolina defense. Julius Peppers playing great in space, running plays down, front side and backside, getting pressure on the quarterback. And more importantly, they forced 2 turnovers tonight.
Best player on the field for Auburn's been Damon Duval, who's been booming punts all night. Jock Lewis, Kevin Knight waiting for the second half kick. And Lewis is going to bring this one 5 yards deep. Out to the 21. Well, Tommy Tuberville in the halftime locker room let his seniors have their say, and they were led by defensive end James Collier.
Hey, listen up now. It don't, can y'all see? It don't take a whole lot of this now. It don't take a whole lot of that. You know you can play ball. We know that. We all the team. We done been up, we done been down. It's time to come back up, all right? It's time to come back up. Trust the man next to you. We don't ask you to be Superman now. We don't ask you to be Superman. Trust the man next to you. Do what you've been supposed to do. You'll be just fine.
Willie Parker with the 2 biggest plays of the first half for Carolina, the touchdown and a 43-yard run. He rips off 22 yards on the first play of the second half.
talk about take care of your responsibility. Right now, North Carolina is. They're blocking their men. They're staying on it. Auburn is trading 1-for-1. They're not getting off their blocks, letting the running backs turn north and south. Another big run for Parker. And again, the wide receivers blocking downfield for those running backs.
Well, James Callier's words not heeded on that first snap. High snap to Durant, who does a nice job bringing it in. And then chased by Callier. And upended on a solid hit by Carlos Rogers, the true freshman corner from Augusta, Georgia.
Nice tackle by Rogers, too.
So Auburn, with the exception of those two big plays, did a nice job defensively and got nothing offensively. 59 total yards. Campbell was 8 of 11 through the air for only 45 yards and an interception. Tigers have been dominant when they've had a lead to protect at halftime, and not so good at coming from behind in the second half. Parker in motion on 2nd and 12. And incomplete. Intended for the tight end, Doug Brown. Michelle had a brief moment before the start of the second half with Tommy Tuberville.
Tommy Tuberville, when your offense has struggled in the past this season, you have pulled Jason Campbell in favor of Daniel Cobb. Will you do that today?
We're going to stay with Jason a little while longer. I think we can get something going. We've just been inconsistent, missing blocks. They gave us a couple of fronts we hadn't seen. Jason's got a little bit confused, but you know, we can get it done. Defensively, we're playing well enough to win. We just got to make them turn the ball over. We gave them 2 free chances, and we haven't gotten any yet. We'll get our breaks this half, but we got to make the breaks. And if we'll do that, we're going to have a great chance. We just need to play better and play more consistent.
Coach, good luck.
Thank you.
Pressure on Durant, and sacked. Huge loss. Back to the 32, and Callier speaks up with his actions on this first third quarter possession. He ends it for Carolina.
Wonderful, outstanding pass rush, just exploding off the football. He's lined up here at the top, coming off on Greg Wolfter, 69, never has a chance. Keeps his feet moving, comes down with the elusive quarterback. Big, big sack.
They will miss him. And of many words, all of them entertaining. Senior from Miami. Lafferty to kick. With both punters have kicked well, and Hood loses his footing as he runs that one down back at his 18-yard line. And this effort for Lafferty, 50 yards. So the Auburn offense, which managed really nothing. I mean, 59 yards. When you're 8 of 11 through the air, you get only 45 yards out of those completions. Never a chance to look downfield and take a deep shot for Campbell. Never had time.
And you heard his coach say that Jason looked confused a couple of times. North Carolina doing a nice job disguising and fooling Jason Campbell. We'll see how he responds, and we'll see how they adjust.
Chris Butler, a tailback. He started the game, only played a couple of series back there, and Quincy Monk with the hit on Butler.
Ryan Sims loose in the backfield again, disappointed with himself because he should have come down with the play for the loss, but nonetheless, he messed it up.
15 combined possessions, 11 with 3 plays or less at 5 lost yards. Butler, the transfer from Nebraska out of Hoover, Alabama, picked up 4. 3 wides again, snap under center, and Butler straight ahead right into the arms of the waiting Ryan Sims, and a late flag comes down.
Boy, the ref just looked right at him and threw the flag.
After the play had ended, personal foul on the defense, unnecessary roughness, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Well, that's going to be on Sims, and they're taking him out of the game. Going to try and cool him off. He's hot right now. Let's see what he does at the end of the play. Nice tackle. You know what he did? His right hand pushed him on the face mask, and that's what the ref called. As he was, you just couldn't see it. His right hand went on his face mask and pushed his head down a little bit. The ref was standing there and threw the flag.
I didn't see anything. I really didn't.
Yeah, I don't know if it was worth a flag, I'll be honest with you.
Gives him the first down. Butler breaking 1 tackle. And gets about 2.5 yards out of this one. Billy D. Greenwood up from strong safety. Michelle?
Well, Dave, one of the reasons Chris Butler has gotten the call to carry the ball today is because of his experience on artificial turf when he was at Nebraska, according to Tommy Tuberville. Remember, he transferred after the '99 season, and Tuberville says Butler may have the best speed on the team. He also says he's had the hot hand of late. He had a nice game versus LSU, so he's gotten a lot of the calls today. 8 carries, 68 yards, 8.5 average against the Tigers, and a touchdown. Also a 3-time state champion in the 55-meter indoor hurdles, including a state record. So there's your speed. Short toss to Marcel Willis to the 45, hit immediately by Errol Hood.
I tell you what, North Carolina is doing a good job, guys. They have 3, 6, 8 receivers, I believe it is, 8 or 9 receivers that have 10 receptions or more, and they're averaging over 10 yards per reception. But right now, North Carolina is doing a great job of hitting them right after the catch. It's 8 receivers that are averaging that, but they're getting nowhere near that tonight.
Another typical 4-yard gain through the air for Campbell. Now on 3rd and 4. They pin their ears back, come with a safety blitz. And another ball deflected by Quincy Monk. That's at least 3 they've batted down.
Quincy's got 2 interceptions on the year, 2 fumble recoveries. He's always around the football. Ryan Sims almost deflected it. Monk up in the air, acting like he should have caught it. There's a reason you're a middle linebacker, Quincy. It's not because you got great hands. He would love to come down with it, though. He would just love to catch one like that, and you look like Raymond Berry.
And the best weapon the Tigers have tonight back on the field, Duval. 52 yards per kick in the first half, and he hangs this one up. It is muffed by Waddell, and he recovers it at the 13.
Didn't have time to circle the hang time, but 5.6 seconds. And the muffed punt and field position again belongs to Auburn.
40-yarder this time by Duval. North Carolina and Auburn almost saw a huge swing right there. It wasn't all hard work. North Carolina and Auburn. One of their stops here in the city of Atlanta this week, the ESPN zone, which kept them busy.
Don't think they'll be joining the Hells Angels anytime soon.
Well, where have you heard this before? The offense backed up. Carolina will start from their own 13 with Curry, the senior, at quarterback. And after play action, wants to go deep, will keep it instead. And a nice block in the open field by his fullback, Madison Hedgecock, resulting in a 13-yard keeper for Curry.
First time we've seen the quarterback get away from the defense. Defenses have run down both these quarterbacks for North Carolina and for Auburn, the 2 for North Carolina and then Campbell for Auburn. But he gets the hole. The ends come upfield. Willie Parker blocking Alton Moore, the tailback on the defensive end. Curry breaks it to the outside and gets the corner.
He will pull it down on you. John Curry, all-time total offense leader in North Carolina history. The give to Parker, read immediately. Dontarius Thomas, who had twice as many tackles as anybody else on that side of the ball this year for Auburn. Just a sophomore out of Perry, Georgia.
The play was destroyed by penetration on the left side. Jupiter Wilson, 71, gets knocked off because Spencer Johnson knocks his man in the backfield, and that allows Perry to come clean and make the play for the loss. Good job up front by Spencer Johnson. Penetration.
They've made a few corrections since they allowed 328 yards on the ground to Alabama. Draw play for Parker. And a burst ahead to the 30. Carlos Rogers to tackle there. Auburn at one point in this season capable of holding a team like Florida, #1 in the country at the time they met, to minus 36 yards rushing. This looks more like that night's group.
Well, that's kind of been Auburn's MO. They start off with a couple of wins, a big one over Ole Miss, and then people thought, oh, young team, maybe they're a year or so away. Oh, they look good. Maybe they'll do it this year. And then they kind of went into a funk. They got destroyed by Syracuse and were hot and cold the rest of the way.
The earmarks of the young team, only 11 seniors. Curry has to pull it down again and wins the race for the first down marker. Gets it by a yard out of the 37, chased by Moore.
You're taught as a defensive lineman when you're rushing the quarterback, don't leave your feet. And that's exactly what Alton Moore did. As he comes in from the right side, he jumps. Once you leave your feet, you're dead. Curry just takes it outside and he's gone.
You're taught as a quarterback to pump fake and the big lug will leave his feet. Back to the outside and run for a first down, which is what Curry does best.
Shut up, Bill.
One of the basketball moves that comes in handy on the football field. Going off his feet, chased now by Mills, gets away. And now into the clear goes Curry, still going. Curry inside the 5, touchdown.
His fiance who got the toe ring.
She'll be looking at those toes again. Twinkle toes tonight. But that's the MO for Ronald Curry. He's been able to do this his entire career. Only this time he threads his way for the distance.
Second longest run of the year by a Tar Heel. And their third big play tonight on offense.
What an athlete. Wow.
62 yards. The Reed PAT off the upright. It is no good, and it remains 16-0. Your worst nightmare if you're an Auburn defender. Ron Curry in the open field. And that's what they got from the North Carolina 38-yard line. They look for the pass long. And barely touched. Only Dansby had a shot at him once he reached the open field. So the second happiest person in the Georgia Dome, the future, misses Ronald Curry.
16-0 North Carolina after Ronald Curry's big touchdown run. Now, can Auburn's young quarterback respond? For as flustered as Jason Campbell has seemed on the field, he's been anything but on the sidelines. He has been doling out praise to his offensive linemen, giving feedback to his receivers, and is displaying the kind of leadership Tommy Tuberville wants to see more and more of from his young quarterback. Back upstairs to Dave.
Well, what he just saw from the veteran quarterback was the longest run of Ronald Curry's career. 62 yards, 16-0. Carter and Watkins waiting for the kick from Reed. 205 total yards now for Carolina. Very respectable. Almost all of that from 3 plays. Parker's 43-yard run. Aiken's 41-yard catch and run in the second quarter. 62. On the touchdown carry by Ronald Curry. And Auburn will start from their 20. Boy, is this ever worth another look.
We've said it again and again. Ronald Curry's strength is in his capacity to make people miss. Look at Mills here. He's helpless. Now as he comes up the field and breaks it, it's like a screen play or a reverse for the defense. It's a hustle play. Dansby's there, but he doesn't wrap up. Not enough dark blue shirts in hot pursuit. Nice blocking. Curry uses it very wisely into the end zone for a big, big play.
Now, can Campbell get anything at all established on the offensive side for Auburn? And he gets his tight end, Lorenzo Diamond, in the clear, but they mark him out of bounds. After a gain of 5, he was open. It might go 80.
And that's what we've seen. Dave, you said it before. Their normal 4 or 5 yard gain. We're seeing it again. Campbell on the year has completed about 63% of his passes. He doesn't as long as 72, but he doesn't go downfield a lot. They are mostly the shorter passes. They may have to start taking it a little longer down the field because the receivers aren't able to get the yards after the catch. North Carolina is doing a great job of tackling after the reception. So maybe the routes have to go to the next level in the 10 to 15 yard range.
Ronnie Brown, their leading rusher, his 5th carry. He's got a total of 23 yards.
Hey, did you see Diamond step out of bounds? I didn't see him. I saw his feet come down, and maybe he did, but I didn't see Lorenzo Diamond step out.
Not there. Maybe there. That must have been what they called, because nothing else is even close.
The only time must have been back there, because I think a big guy did a nice job of tightroping.
Four wides in the shotgun for Campbell. And snap barely avoids another disaster. Ryan Sims is there to bury him.
Bill, former center, why don't you take this one?
There's a very sophisticated communication system in the gun snap scenario. And it's between the quarterback and the center, and something is arrived between Campbell and his center, Ben Allen. I don't know what it is, but this time Campbell is being chewed out, and apparently he gave the center the signal to snap the ball.
Gotta wonder how much longer they go with the freshman Campbell. Waddell, face mask on the return. So there'll be some yardage tacked onto this one. A 50-yard boot as Duval continues his terrific night, and Reggie Torbor will be called for the face mask.
No, actually, it's going to be a little used to the hands on North Carolina. It's going to be on Derek Johnson,
Illegal
number
block
2.
in the back on the return team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Well, they missed it. A debilitated Auburn offense being shot.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the 2001 Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl is brought to you by Ford F-Series. The best-selling trucks are built Ford top. And by Bank of America, official sponsor of the U.S. Olympic team.
This time of year, it is lit up spectacularly if you drop by Centennial Olympic Park in downtown Atlanta.
You mean that's not Rockefeller Center?
Closest thing to it.
That's Atlanta, GA, man.
There's the backup, the senior Cobb. Campbell, on 10 drives, has managed 7 3-and-outs and 72 total yards. Tommy Tuberville told Michelle right after halftime they were going to give Campbell a little more time in the third quarter. You wonder if that time is running out on him. Willie Parker gained about 3 to the 28.
I think it's going to have to be running out. Bill, not only is he seemed confused by some of the coverages, as Tommy Tuberville said, but he's certainly having some miscommunication with the center, as we've seen on some of the shotgun snaps, and can only live with that so long. Cobb has thrown for over 1,000 yards, and Jason Campbell has thrown for over 1,000 yards. Cobb certainly could step in and get the ball down the field. We'll see if they make that move.
He's not warming up, is he?
No, he's not.
You're exactly right on all counts.
Quarterback draw, Curry, no gain. And they're still just 2 scores down as we go under 6 minutes in the third quarter. So you can still, if you're an Auburn fan, consider yourself in the game. But one more score, and that really changed.
It really does. That the missed extra point, right, Dave, leaves them 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions down. So certainly, and they have been averaging, has this Auburn defense, or this team, 7 points off turnovers. They haven't forced one yet, but their average for the year has been 7 points a game off turnovers. Let's see if they can try and take one away from North Carolina, who's been doing a nice job of hitting that big play when they needed it.
If you're a Carolina fan, it's going to be interesting to see if Carolina goes conservative here.
Which would mean keep Curry running the ball.
Quarterback draw or something. Yeah, a shovel pass.
Parker takes the shovel for a first down to the 38.
Now you're dealing with the wily old master and Gary Tranquil, the offensive coordinator for the North Carolina Tar Heels. He's one of the guys that coached at the University of Virginia when my son played there, and Bill Curry Jr. thinks that Tranquil's about the smartest guy he ever saw. And he's going to come up with things that are very difficult to defense. That's how he's worked these 2 quarterbacks so well this year.
That was a shoeless Willie Parker.
Ran slap out of his shoe.
Give out of the shotgun goes to Jacques Lewis. The true freshman from Elizabeth City. Finished up well against Duke with 11 carries, 94 yards, including back-to-back runs of 40 and 28. So he gets a look tonight in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl.
Auburn's getting in the rut of 2 good plays and then giving up a big one to North Carolina. They get North Carolina in 2nd and longs, 3rd and longs, but then North Carolina's coming up with the big play to move the chains or rip off big ones.
Curry and Durant haven't had very many downfield shots either. Maybe a chance here on 2nd and 11. Nope, short toss. Caught by Aiken, who comes up short of the first down, run down out of bounds by Stanford Simmons. Michelle.
You mentioned Gary Tranquil. Talk about coming off of an injury. He's coming off of surgery December 17th to remove a lung infection at the hospitals at North Carolina. He was back at practice for the first time this last Saturday, and everyone knew he was going to be fine when he threw his hat on the ground after the team made an error. They saw him throw his hat, and the whole team cheered and danced around the field. Glad to see their old coach back in good form.
There are times when you want to hear the coach yell, huh, Bill? That certainly would be one of them.
Yep, especially with a guy that carries that kind of respect.
3rd and 4, Curry. Sacked this time. Back at the 42, Alton Moore has been chasing him, has been faked off his feet a couple of times, and those have been costly. But he gets Curry to his feet this time.
Yeah, I'm sure that Alton said something like, I am so happy that you stood still this time so I could get you down.
Looked like another coverage sack. We saw one before like that when Curry just stood, which seems really odd, guys, because you've seen Curry take off, pull the ball down and run, and a couple of times you see him stand in the pocket and just looking downfield, and then gives up an easy sack.
Lafferty on a fake. Throws to Aiken in midfield. Carolina first down to the 45 of Auburn. 13 yards, Lafferty.
And the riverboat gambler, Tommy Tuberville, gets a dose of his own medicine here. And this is a big risk. The score is 16-0. John Bunting takes a substantial risk. When you look at risk-reward ratio, a first down at midfield is not that big a deal, but he's made a statement to his team. We are not going to sit on this lead. We're going to go after him. So much fun.
That was
John Lafferty.
That was one of the
ugliest, throw those duck passes.
Ugliest, most effective passes I've seen.
Pass looked like a pooch kick movement. On the left side of the offensive line, it was the tight end, Zach Hilton.
But again, a field position will change here if Auburn is able to stop them. Look where the ball is right now. North Carolina can pin Auburn down. You're always thinking ahead in the chess match of how you can set yourself up.
Before the snap, ball start on the offense. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
There's an old linebacker.
Yeah, John thinks he's tearing up his headset, but he thinks that Callier jumped into the neutral zone to make his tight end move. Callier actually never crossed the neutral zone. When John sees the tape, he'll calm down maybe a little bit.
Maybe.
Not much. Right now, he'd like to do a forearm shiver to the umpire's face. Not allowed to do that either, Coach.
No, don't do that.
There's one thing you had to wonder about when he took the head coaching job. As vocal and intense as he was as a player, how would he channel that intensity as a head coach? He said he's vocal in practice. Tries to stay poised during the game. Dansby tipped it to Dontarius Thomas. Oh, my goodness. And now a flag.
I don't care if the play counts or not. That was one of the most exciting plays I have ever seen.
You think that guy's played some basketball?
Are you kidding me?
You think he's gone out of bounds with the ball under his arm and called timeout before he hit the ball, before he hit the floor? That was an incredible. You're both exactly right.
Oh, what are they going to call here?
You don't say this very often, but I have never seen that on a football field. Dansby led the SEC 5 interceptions this year.
Here's what they're going to say. If he had possession and threw it, he threw it forward. That's what they're going to say. So it would be an illegal forward pass if they say he had possession of it. But he was in the air going out of bounds.
It didn't seem at the time as if it was anything but a tip.
But a tip. But we'll see on a replay.
A judgment call as to whether he had possession or whether he tipped the ball. If he tipped the ball, it will be a legal play.
Right.
If not,
if he caught it and threw it back out there, but boy, I tell you what.
Either way, I think they have to grant Auburn possession of the football.
While they're talking, let's try and figure it out on our own. It looked like a tip all the way. Dansby,
no, he caught the ball and threw it.
Threw it forward.
Great camera angle there, guys. Look at that. Caught it, threw it. Wow.
He had control.
Wonderful camera work.
Oh, what a play. Are you kidding me?
How do you take that away from him?
So they have to give him the ball and mark off the penalty.
Well, no. Well, they say he would have caught, if he caught the ball, he was going to be out of bounds. He was coming down out of bounds.
The ball was possessed on the interception. It was caught, and then it was passed forward. That's an interception. It's an illegal forward pass. 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Possession changes.
Well worth it. Well worth it.
Absolutely right.
Good call.
Unbelievable.
Mr. Dansby, welcome to Sports Center. Because you will be on it, my friend.
For 6 years.
Wow.
We won't find any better than that.
Hey, straight to the ESPYs, gentlemen.
You are
That's
not
got to be a
kidding.
nomination.
And you got to give credit to Mercedes Perry for being in the right spot. Oh, I'm sorry, I got the wrong team. Yeah, Dontarius Thomas. I got so fired up.
Is that kind of play,
the
Bill?
wrong shirt.
Wow.
Dontarius was there and was ready for the football. A lot of linebackers that would have hit him in the mouth. John, once again, you got no leg to stand on. It's their ball.
They're trying to say if he had possession, he was going to come down out of bounds. So how do you give him possession? But, boy, he certainly had control in his hands.
I think his feet would have been in bounds.
Oh, I don't know about that. But regardless, he did a great job of getting it back in. Oh.
That was worth the price of admission.
You are
right
not
there.
kidding.
One of the odd things about their year, when they were playing their best, they weren't getting takeaways. And when they were struggling, they couldn't do much with their forced turnovers. We'll see what they can do with this breathtaking bit of athleticism and mental acuity by Carlos Dansby in midair.
Well, I don't know what acuity means, but I said earlier that,
Mike, that means he was sharp on the play.
okay, that they've gotten average 7 points off turnovers per game, and here's an opportunity to live up to that average.
Campbell's still in the game.
And they're still ready to come after him with safety blitzing. And incomplete. Kevin Knight coming on a blitz that time. Down to Michelle.
Well, and Dave, one more bad piece of news for Auburn. Right tackle Mark Parra, their starter, re-injured his right ankle, which he injured originally against Georgia this season. They rewrapped it. They tried to see if he could move on it. It was too tender. Now they're icing it. His return is doubtful, Dave.
He replaced Monrico Crittenden against LSU. That was his only start before tonight. And Crittenden, a fellow sophomore, back in at right tackle. Carolina's not trying to disguise much. They let Campbell know he will be under the gun. Another low snap. He avoids another turnover, but he gets popped on the shoulder in recovering it by Ryan Sims.
And Bill, it really looks like they're being very deliberate now. Jason Campbell just lifting the foot once, saying, I'm ready. Then, as you said, it's up to Nowlin, the center, for the silent snap. He's putting it into his shins, though, Bill. He's got to get the snap up.
This is a nightmare for Noah Mazzoni, the offensive coordinator who works with the quarterbacks and the centers. Now, that was a poor snap, but that's the kind of thing quarterbacks routinely handle.
Absolutely, yeah. You got to give a little.
Young Campbell is terribly rattled, and his center's not helping him much.
Cobb's finally trading the baseball cap for a helmet, ready to warm up. 3rd and 17. Campbell finally with time to go deep. And incomplete, but a flag intended for Jarris McIntyre, covered by Knight.
The first time all night, guys, they have gone down the field. At some point, they had to. And now they get the interference call against Kevin Knight.
Defensive pass interference. By rule, the maximum penalty is 15 yards. Previous spot, first down.
And I know the fans are booing here, but if we get a look at it, I believe we're going to see it was the correct call. See the receiver coming back for the ball. Knight not turning around, reaching out with that right hand and grabbing. He did a nice job at the end. It was the right hand earlier than that got him into trouble. Jarris McIntyre, the receiver, coming back for the ball. Of course, every good DB doesn't buy it when they're called.
They have never been guilty.
No.
It's just like an offensive lineman call for holding.
Yep. New life, Dave.
That's the longest gain of the half for the Auburn offense. 15 yards on the interference. Now Campbell looks up. Brandon Johnson is fullback. Breaks a couple of tackles, and now he deals out some punishment. And he's close to the first down. Billy D. Greenwood gets the worst of this head-to-head.
The reason Campbell had time to throw this ball is because he got excellent protection up front from Kendall Simmons and Hart McGarry. Right here, this twosome. Watch the stunt. Peppers pops inside. McGarry slides off. Nice job of picking up. So he doesn't have big Peppers in his face that time because Sims was there.
Brandon Johnson, let me tell you what, like most fullbacks, he's not a big talker. He's a tough guy. He gets his shoulders down low and he goes straight ahead.
Did he make it? Quick.
No.
You talked just long enough that I could not put you on the spot.
No idea what you're talking about. You're right, though. That O-line, nice job of picking up the stunt. And North Carolina has run more than a few stunts tonight that have not been successful. They've been more successful straight rushing or with the blitz. They've had some free men coming through.
Perfect time to go deep.
Downfield, go downfield. I mean, at some point you've got to. $1:29 left in the third. You're down 16-0.
That's your best gain of the half last time you tried it.
Give me a 10-yard route, 12-yard route, 15, something.
Quarter blitz is faked, and Campbell, sore shoulder and all, plunges forward. He gets 3 yards on the quarterback sneak.
But it's also a sign, Bill, and tell me if you agree, quarterback sneak on 2nd and 1, not a lot of confidence in this offense right now to get some things done.
I really think Coach Mazzoni is concerned about his guys, and he wants to get some first downs. There's Noah right there. He's been doing this a long time. He knows his people. Yes, we all stand up here and say, throw it deep, throw it deep. He needs to get some first downs and keep that offense on the field and the defense off.
Giving him a look now again here.
Corners back off. Campbell steps up. And knocked off his feet by Monk. Looked like a possible big gainer. He'll settle for 3.
Okay, we probably haven't given proper credit to Quincy Monk tonight, the middle linebacker. He has been all over the field. We got him for 5 tackles. That would have made 6 right there. He's got a sack. He's been omnipresent. He's tipped balls. He's almost intercepted one. He's one of the really fine leaders on this North Carolina front 7. John Bunting cites as the dominant unit on his team.
23 tackles he had against Wake Forest this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
2nd and 7. Inside give. First down carry by Cassinius Moore.
That's a good play. It's a trap. That takes care of penetration. Sometimes when you penetrate a lot, you can take yourself right out of a play, make yourself get trapped easy, or take yourself right out of the play, and the hole opens up in the middle.
Watch this nice block by Nowlin. He's had a hard time tonight. He's not letting up. He's the center. He's blocking back here on the defensive tackle. Excellent footwork. Opens up the hole extremely well.
He and the guard had a nice fold block there. Yeah.
End of the third quarter. Tuberville down 10-0 at the half, 16-0 now with only the fourth quarter to go in the 34th Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. As always, it seems, in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, no shortage of big plays. None bigger than the Dansby-Thomas combined interception. And a 62-yard touchdown run by Ronald Curry tossed in. In the third quarter, we saw North Carolina add to the 10-0 lead they had at the half. We'll see if the missed PAT costs them later on. But Auburn on the move with a first down and 10. Carolina's 29-yard line as the fourth quarter opens. Campbell, the quarterback, all the way. Short toss, Moore gets a block. Open field move, and then undercut by Dexter Reed as he reaches the first down marker. And 11 yards on the screen for Moore.
Nice throwback screen, a sprint to the right. North Carolina is so fast, and they pursue so well. A lot of white shirts over there with Campbell, and then the throwback to Moore, and nice blocking.
You know, and you're right, Bill. He's not putting a lot of pressure on Jason Campbell right now. Noah Mazzoni, the offensive coordinator, he's making him get the ball in the hands of those receivers and let those guys do the work.
At last, a promising march for the Auburn offense. It must be cashed in. Moore tripped up off tackle. Gain of 1. The ESPN Game Track had some eye-popping additions in that third quarter. Longest run of his career for the senior Ronald Curry. 62 yards to make it 16-0 Tar Heels.
And Coach Bunting showing the gambler's spirit with John Rafferty, the punter, to Sam Aiken for a key first down.
Carlos Dansby gets the interception and then throws it back in bounds to Donatario Thomas, and John Bunting saying, I don't think he had the interception.
Here they come, 2nd and 9. Campbell chased, looks for a block, and steps out just before the first down marker. In fact, they'll mark him 2 yards shy at the 10. Silas Daniels doing his best to give him an open field block, though, and it'll be 3rd and 2 from the 10.
Good job again getting to the outside. We've seen, as we see him get downfield, we've seen some good blocks downfield by the wide receivers for North Carolina. Don't think we're getting the same out of Auburn. Chance there for Silas Daniels to get a block and doesn't really do a nice job of it. Could have got Campbell some more yards.
As big a play as they've had all night. 3rd and 2. Charge right up the middle. Campbell escapes. Once, not twice. Sacked at the 18. David Thornton.
Number 58. Anthony Perkins has been quiet tonight, surrounded by his more heralded teammates, but he's clean on a busted pass protection. Not a good time for that to happen, and he's the one that forces the action. Campbell trying to run out of trouble, but David Thornton's too fast.
Someone's going to come free, Bill. As we know, they have to come from the outside. You've got to block the inside players.
He was unblocked.
So Duval will try to at least get him on the scoreboard with a 34-yarder. And warm-ups, he was booming him, but he had the hooks something off it. Straight through this time. And the Tigers at last cash in to drive. But John Bunting more than happy to give him 3 after Thornton's sack thwarts Campbell on the big 3rd and 2. 16-3. Well, so Auburn at least gets points. Not the points they needed, but they avoid the shutout. Now 16-3. Can they turn that into any kind of momentum next time they get it?
Well, they just really need to. They're the last team in the SEC in getting the ball in the end zone, in the red zone, and that cost them on that drive, Mike.
I'll still be interested to see, will Daniel Cobb get a chance to come into this game? And you mentioned it before, Bill, will North Carolina get conservative on offense and just maybe let Curry run the ball or Durant run the ball? Or will they keep it open up a little bit to move the chains?
Duval's kicks continue to sail over the end line. And let's send it down to Michelle Tafoya.
Time for a special presentation from Chick-fil-A. Here's Senior Vice President of Marketing, Steve Robinson.
Thank you, Michelle. We have a new tradition of the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, and that is to award scholarships to the 2 universities that play in the game. And here to do that is Dan Cathy, our president.
Dr. Walker, $25,000 to make a difference in the lives of young people. Dr. Mazur as well. Congratulations on being a part of the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, congratulations.
North Carolina from their 20. Darian Durant back in at quarterback. Curry has done most of the damage here in the second half. Willie Parker Through the middle for 5 yards.
It's really interesting to hear Coach Bunting talk about this two-quarterback system, and I've never heard of people going 2 series, 2 series, 2 series, and sticking with it unless one of them gets really, really hot. And it has been such a magic wand for them that they really believe in it, and if they can continue here and close this deal, they'll be 8-0 using the system.
And so many coaches will do anything to avoid a two-quarterback system. And the quarterback controversy never really happened in North Carolina. Parker to the 33. Really, you go back to Mac Brown's era, and he made the two-quarterback system work really well. Chris Keldorf and Oscar Davenport come to mind.
Well, there have been a lot of coaches who, the first time I remember seeing it was Tom Landry with the Cowboys, when Craig Morton and Dandy Don Meredith used to run in every other play. And they got good doing that. They got real good, in fact.
I know when I was, right before I got to Philadelphia, Ron Jaworski would play first and second down, and then Randall Cunningham would come in as the third down quarterback.
Parker over 100. First and 10 to 33. Durant looking back left. Danny Davis swarmed after a gain of 2.
I think we have our answer, Mike, your rhetorical question about what North Carolina was going to do. I think we both knew what they were going to do. They're going to get conservative. If they throw the ball, it's a 3-yard hitch. But as long as they're running up in there and Adam Metz and Jupiter Wilson and Jeb Terry are knocking those Auburn guys off the ball, they don't have to throw
And that's
the ball.
been one of the biggest improvement, because earlier in the game we saw the great penetration by both D-lines. That O-line now for North Carolina is starting to stick on their blocks a little longer.
Yes, they are.
Durant faking short, looked long briefly, and then a dangerous toss. Davis has it. A flag down in the secondary. Davis turns that into a gain of 11 if it stands. Looked like Durant had decided to tuck and keep, and instead was really vulnerable and hit hard as he got the pass off. Luckily for him, he got it to Davis. Holding defense, the call by John Bible of the Big 12.
Good job by Durant getting rid of the ball. I wasn't sure if he was close to the line of scrimmage or if he was over the line of scrimmage. Line of scrimmage is about the 35-yard line. Oh, and he just is on that line.
By the defense on an eligible pass receiver before the pass is thrown. Penalty is declined. First down.
But Dave, I think your point is well taken. So often you see a guy try to make that throw when he's in the grasp, and he gets drilled as he throws it, and it pops up in the air and goes the other way. That was a very risky thing by Durant. And again, he has a lot to learn. Coach Tranquil will work with him, and he'll learn when to do that and when not to. This time it worked.
Is that one of those, no, yes, yes, yes.
Better work. It's one of those that better work.
Auburn showing blitz. Backing off. Aiken coming back underneath. After starting to play in motion, he's drilled by Tavarius Pounds, a middle linebacker.
You know, good quarterback coaches are very careful. When they have an instinctive player like Darian Durant, they don't mess with them much on intuitive things like that. They'll say, okay, whatever feels right, you need to do it. Because if you put too many shackles on them, then they don't do well. Nice call there.
They're doing a nice job of mixing it up while not getting, out of hand with the plays, mixing it up, but keeping it conservative.
The shovel pass almost never fails.
Yep.
At least gets you 4 or 5 yards, sometimes big. Draw play, fails big. Parker meets Carlos Dansby.
That's called a rundown blitz. You just run that backer through. Dansby's called a whip. He lines up as a strong safety or an inside backer or an outside backer, and here he comes, and he's the kind of guy, when he gets loose in the backfield, Mike, he does not miss the tackle.
Coaches call him football smart, and we certainly saw it on the fantastic interception and throw back onto the field, and we saw that there. He got clean in, and he did not miss the tackle. He made sure he made it.
Shotgun for Durant. Dansby coming on a blitz. They pick it up nicely, and a little missed signal between Corey Bailey and Durant. Durant Throwing deep, Bailey cut the pattern off short against Carlos Rogers. So Auburn forcing the punt with 9:25.
Whoever was right and wrong there, they're both going to turn and look at the other as if to say, hey, man, that was your fault. Nobody pointed to himself.
Nobody tapped their own chest on that one.
Nobody fessing up.
They'll let the coaches.
I predict this will not be a fake.
High snap. Rafferty has to leave his feet. The walk-on. Wobbles one down to Roderick Hood. And a return out to the 30, and then maybe a late hit. See if any flags fly over there on the Auburn bench.
He was trying to hold him up. Thornton wasn't trying to hit him.
35 on the kick, 12 on the return. Only 74 yards on Jason Campbell's 12 completions. Auburn 13 down. Margaret Mitchell's house. That produced a little ditty known as what? Gone with the Wind?
Yes.
Heard of it.
Yeah. Made a little bit of literary impact.
Indeed, she did. And Miss Scarlett O'Hara is one of our enduring creatures.
We go from that to the cow.
Speaking of whom, two more creatures that might not endure quite so long.
Joe Watkins in motion. Just about every play, North Carolina at least threatening secondary blitz off Campbell. And again backing up, and they've got him at the 11. Sims. A loss of 19.
Well, started again with a low snap, but he went down and he got it. The blitz, they got guys coming free. You know, this is when Bill, quarterback, does he have to find a way to get rid of this ball? Does he have a chance to?
And where is Mr. Sims lined up? He's out there at defensive end. He works a stunt with Julius Peppers, and both of them come clean. We showed how Auburn did a nice job of picking them up 2 series ago. This time, no way.
Anytime now for Campbell. Now it breaks down. He has to throw on the run, and a diving near interception by Kevin Knight. Intended for McIntyre.
He tried a nice sell job, too.
Let's go down to Michelle.
Well, guys, Ryan Sims had to wrap his left foot after injuring it in the first half. This has got to be killing him because he told me the better he looks, the better he plays. Before every game, he gets a haircut, a new pair of gloves. He cleans his cleats. He told me he tries to keep it simple, and I quote, be the best-looking guy on the football field like I always am. He has a shoe fetish, Dave. He's got 27 pairs. This pair, I'm sure it's just killing him, has to be covered up.
In my entire life, I have never owned a total of 27
That's
pairs
a prime
of shoes.
shame.
The three of us together don't own 27 pairs of shoes.
Carolyn Curry does.
No, the three of us.
Third and 29, Campbell. Running for his life again. And still in bounds, and then nailed near the 30. And at least got him out of that huge hole on the 19-yard sack. Gain of 18. Hope everybody's okay on that hit by Reed.
No, somebody's down there, yeah.
Uh-oh.
That's Campbell. He's down.
That is Bill Bailey, our timeout coordinator. And Campbell down as well. That was quite a lick doled out by Dexter Reed along the side.
Julius Peppers just ran about 80 yards chasing Campbell. He came clean. And he beat our man Kendall Simmons in the pass rush and just never could quite catch up. Here he comes off the corner out here with his terrific speed. Gets around Kendall Simmons. Kendall tries to hang on to him, but Julius is too fast, but he can't quite catch Campbell. He ends up running out of bounds, but he got a heck of a workout on the play. And then a hard hit, a legal hit, a clean hit on Campbell.
And I think this may quicken the move, guys. Even if he had not gotten dinged here, I really think you would have seen Daniel Cobb next series. Regardless, this may hasten the move, and maybe not. Campbell may come back for it, but I think it might be about that time for the move.
You know what? At this point, you lose nothing by trying somebody else.
No. And not saying all of it is Jason Campbell's fault, because he's certainly been running for his life a bit.
Well, he's had plenty of company back there.
Yep.
When he's had time to throw, he's done fairly well.
Oh, our man And Bill Bailey's got some war wounds to show. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, he did. Come on home, Bill Bailey.
He got opened up.
Duvall's kick. Once doesn't take an Auburn hop. Carlos Rogers killing it at 28. 42 on the latest Duvall punt. He's been the busiest man on the field for the Tigers.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the 2001 Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl is presented by Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. And by Chrysler. Drive equals love.
Well, the story of this Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl defense, most of it turned in by North Carolina. Auburn just 101 total yards. And a Duvall field goal to show for their first 3.5 quarters or so. And let's ask tonight's Aflac trivia question. This goes back some 6 years. 5 straight wins for the SEC in this series. So who was the last ACC team to win a Peach Bowl? What taxes all our members?
Everything taxes all our members.
From the 28, a flag before the snap with Curry back in at quarterback for North Carolina. Campbell may well have had his bell rung.
False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
We're told why Campbell was down. He did appear to lose consciousness for a moment. Durant has had a few more snaps, few more yards, but Curry had the big 62-yard touchdown run to account for the lead going from 10-0 to 16-0. And also engineered a field goal, or Durant engineered a field goal drive in the first half. Curry on the field for both of their touchdowns. First of which was scored by Willie Parker.
And you look at the clock, you got 8 minutes left in this football game. That's plenty of time for an Auburn offense that's been dormant all night to do a couple of things, get a turnover, and this is the worst possible time to start a drive with a 5-yard penalty deep in your own territory for Carolina. And again, a lot of teaching to be done. Coach Bunting and his staff will get together with their guys and teach them off this game. John Tenuto must be very pleased with his defense, but they have to finish the job.
Well, history says Auburn will score. 15 straight Peach Bowls until the last 2, all decided by a touchdown or less. Shovel pass. Parker to the 32. And another tackle by Dontarius Thomas.
Well, he is all over the field. Nice block by Jeb Terry that time, the 306-pound offensive lineman. Great cut block on Tavares Pounds. But boy, Dontarius Thomas, he's all over the place. Pounds got blocked there, but he's almost at 10 tackles. They're scratching and clawing out there. They need to stop here, this Auburn defense. They got to get the ball back for their offense.
4 wideouts, 3 on the right side for Curry. Rolling that way, looking, but keeping. Open field move, countered by Tavarius Pounds. Curry was ready to do a dance, put a little magic on Thomas and Pounds. Maybe that's the way you do it. You just come straight at him head first.
Wow, what a nice open field tackle against a very good runner. Tavarius Pounds with his 10th tackle of the night, unofficially. That's what we have him for.
He certainly didn't look at Ronald Curry's hips. You never look at their hips. Check out their chest. Can't move as much as their hips and zero in on it. Try and drive right through it.
Look at that base.
Great job.
Good
boy,
base shoulder width apart. Very important key tackle to keep his team in a chance to win this game.
4th, a little less than 1. And Carolina, a perfect pass back to Lafferty. Hood spins away from Reed to start the return and out of bounds at the 26. 42-yard kick by Lafferty, 5 on the return. Down to Michelle.
Dave, it looks like Daniel Cobb is finally going to come into this game at quarterback. Jason Campbell injuring his shoulder on that last play, as you referenced, just a shoulder injury. Daniel Cobb warming up with the center, Ben Nowlin. What they really were working on is not so much warming up Cobb, but working on the center quarterback exchange, guys.
Cobb started 4 games this year. He was 2-2. He came off the bench and led the upset of then #1 Florida. And then the coaching staff says he kind of hit a wall at that point. But Campbell managed only 101 total yards, and again, not his fault entirely. He had very little blocking and very little in the run game. And Cobb starts with a give to Ronnie Brown.
The fundamental move in football is the exchange between the center and the quarterback, regardless of whether it's a typical exchange with the quarterback under or whether it's a gun snap, which is so prevalent in today's football. It's got to be perfect. There are teams that go an entire season without missing a single one of these, and Auburn has had a terrible time with it tonight.
Cobb juggled that snap, and that is caught off the shoe tops by Jay Ratliff, the 3rd tight end, out to midfield.
He almost dropped that one and just got a hold of it before it hit the turf. Good job by Cobb, working it up into the pocket and finding an escape route to a receiver and turning disaster into a big play and a first down.
Once again, the problem started with some sort of miscommunication. The ball was either too low, he had a problem handling the snap, too hard, too low, or something.
Yeah, it's a hard snap going low, Bill. You're right.
Only the 3rd catch of the year for Ratliff, true freshman. Little slant in, Silas Daniels. That's good for about 6.
As I so often do, I'll use the words of Homer Smith, the superb quarterback coach. We want an unballisticated ball here. I said, Homer, what does that mean? He said, we don't want a rocket. We don't want it spiraling.
Take a little off it, yeah.
Tumbling gently so the quarterback can handle it. That's not what's happening with Auburn's center and quarterback.
There's every reason to expect Jason Campbell goes on, has a fine career at Auburn. He just was not able to establish anything tonight. Again, Daniels, first down, 41-yard line, coverage by Kevin Knight.
Now, again, North Carolina's going to give him these. I mean, these are 5-6 yards. Yeah, they're going to move the chains, but there's 3:55 to go. The clock's going to start. When the referee signals, it's going to get moving. They're going to have to start taking it downfield. They need a couple of scores.
They had totally erased Tim Carter, the leading receiver on the year for Auburn, who is without anything to show for his night. And he had the deflection that turned into the early interception, or the early fumble recovery for North Carolina that led to their first touchdown. Still time to play a role in this Auburn comeback attempt. 3:51 left. Well, time running out on Auburn. 3 minutes and 51 seconds to go. Trailing 16-3. They have all 3 of their timeouts. But up against the North Carolina defense that's had an answer for everything. The answer has usually been pressure on the quarterback, which is now senior Daniel Cobb from Marietta, Georgia. And they come after him. He gets it off. Too tall for Silas Daniels this time.
And most of the time, after all the jockeying around, it ends up with 5 people rushing and man-free coverage. John Tenuta's favorite thing, by his own discussion with us. And he has a variety of ways of rushing, and sometimes there's zone pressure, dropping a D lineman or peppers. They've had a lot of free people and confusing the offensive protection for Auburn.
Auburn allowed the most sacks in the SEC, 27. And a half dozen tonight. Kicked way up in the air, incomplete. Nearest target, Lorenzo Diamond, the tight end, and a 3rd and 10 coming with 3:42.
That's no time to throw. I mean, they are just absolutely coming after him on about every play, making them throw quickly, and then if they're going to make the catch, they're going to get quick tackles.
And the war between the 2 high draft choices continues. They're just fighting a war, and this one is won by Peppers. You got to say, he runs the big guy over, Mike. Knocks Simmons into dirt. Simmons got to keep his knees bent. Good job by Julius there. He's rising to the occasion late in this game.
first game in an Auburn uniform for Cobb. Can he make it memorable? Finally, they get Tim Carter loose inside the 20.
Now, here's a significant thing about college football. That's a first down. That stops the clock automatically. Not so in the NFL. The teams have a chance to get up to the ball, get their play call before the thing winds again.
One of the few times he's had time to stand back there, any Auburn quarterback, and there's a 20-yard out. First time getting it down the field.
First official catch for Carter. The fumble was on a backwards pass officially. Way back in the first. That began their troubles. Trying to erase them now. Going deep again. Overthrown. No flag. Daniels covered by Waddell.
Uncatchable ball.
And I mean covered by Waddell. He was on him.
Waddell has been, in the old Southern terminology, everywhere. Waddell has been everywhere tonight.
Auburn fans, you hear their displeasure with what they think is a non-call out there.
Second and 10. Reed up showing blitz. So is Monk. And here they come. Intercepted. At the 16, Waddell, who started this with the first big play for North Carolina, caused the fumble by Carter, and he just about may have ended it here with the pick.
Tim Carter and Marcel Willis were crossing receivers. I think both thought the ball was going to the other. Nobody made a play for the ball, and it went right through to Waddell.
This flag is going to be for celebration.
Like conduct by the intercepting team. Excessive celebration. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
And this in the end zone where most of the Sky Blue fans are still around enjoying this one, so they don't like the call, but they did like the pick by Waddell.
You're going to see no receiver really make a play for the ball. There's Carter actually ducking. Maybe think it's going to Willis. Neither one making a play for it, and an easy pick for Waddell.
The celebration penalty was called because somebody removed his headgear. That's anything that draws attention to yourself. Billy D. Greenwood took his helmet off, and he's the one that got flagged for it. But North Carolina will settle. The smart thing Waddell did was to get on the ground with the football rather than to risk fumbling it back to the Auburn offense.
Curry with the second time out for the Tar Heels, but their celebration already underway here in Atlanta. Well, they're exactly right. Sports Center is up next. And on to 2002 will go.
That's up next, too.
Yep. 1 hour, 15 minutes away. Wow. And North Carolina poised to end this run by the SEC of 5 straight wins in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl.
Can you believe you got Carolina fans lobbying for Peppers to get onto the basketball court? They want him back out there tomorrow.
Absolutely. The football season's over tonight. Absolutely, they want him on the field tomorrow.
They love
the
both
court.
of them.
Yeah,
they love Peppers most of all. He's had a heck of a game.
Curry to give, and Parker gets through that front wall. Races out to the 30. 22 yards. Parker now 16 carries, 123 on the night. And let's answer our Aflac trivia question. Who was the last ACC team to win a Peach Bowl?
I know. Virginia.
Now you know.
Oh,
The Bulldog loyal are not going to appreciate.
I was on delay.
You're making that the question. They're not going to appreciate that.
I was on my own 7-second delay. I thought I got it in.
The Wahoos will love it, though.
Carolina with the top defense in the ACC. They've held Auburn to 156 total yards. That appeared to be right guard Jeb Terry moving.
Before the snap, ball start on the offense. 5 yards, still first down.
I love Jeb. He looks over at Adam Metz after he jumps off sides, saying something to Adam like it was his fault. Is that what you O-linemen do, Bill? You blame each other?
The guards like to blame it on the center, but normally that doesn't fly.
It's the Carolina team that opened 0-3. John Bunting said he really saw the seeds of hope when they were down in that opener at Oklahoma 38-7 because they played the hardest of the game at that point and outscored OU 20-3 the rest of the way, even though they lost the next week at Maryland. Week after that at Texas, he saw the potential, and they won 7 of their last 9 to get to the Peach, and will finish this year, once they finish this one off, with 8 wins in their last 11 games, 8-5 overall in his first year, and he will be the most successful first-year Tar Heel head coach ever.
Holding on the offense. Penalty is declined. Brings up second down.
Down to Michelle.
You guys mentioned Adam Metz and his penchant for talking. He said a lot of wonderful things about his head coach, John Bunting, saying, I think John Bunting is going to be the Dean Smith of football. Why? Because he knows the game and he's a great motivator. And when I'm an alum from here, I'm going to be glad to say I played for John Bunting. Pretty strong words, and certainly North Carolina has to be thrilled with their first-year head coach tonight, Dave.
Yeah, and Bunting gives it right back to the senior class, Metz included, by saying they had a meeting early on, and that really turned the season around.
And also, he asked his team about this initial game with Oklahoma. He left it up to the seniors, and they, to a man, said, let's go play it. So you open up with Oklahoma, Maryland, and Texas. You're in the 0-3 hole and make a great comeback.
Well, this is it for our happy band of Warriors. It's been together all year. We want to thank everybody associated with our productions all season long. Our operations producer, Joe Wire. Operations assistant, Jolyn Goff. Engineers, Marty Kipp and Dean Fogg. Technical director, Russ Flagg. Audio department, including Rick Wallace, Buck Jordan, and Jeff Shuey. Don Geist and John Krauser in video. Our camera operators, including B-Mac, right there. Brian McIntyre. John Sherrill. And the rest of the crew, John Shupin, Dan Roach, Dwayne Crump, Mike Jackson, Ken Harton. Videotape, Gene Kelly and David Gray. Graphics operated by Steve Getz. First and 10 technicians, Steve Webster and Rich Jardin. Computer stats, Tom Vigorito. And Lieutenant Colonel Ken Rozelski of the Air Force, who is overseas right now in Kuwait. That's with him. Another carry for Parker. Our crewing coordinator, Barbara Cox. Truck drivers, Joe Dolney, Denny Cash, and Lewis Parker. Our statisticians and spotters, who sometimes make it seem like we halfway know what we're talking about up here. Kirk McCarley, Ken Trevor, Wave Robinson, John Barnett, Mike Barnett. Our production assistant, Ian Kelly. Associate director, John Wilson. Replay producer, Andy Bach. Associate producer, Kathy Kappas. Our fine director, John Del Vecchio. Coordinating producer, Tim Corrigan. Senior coordinating producer, Mo Davenport. And especially our producer of all Phil Dean productions, the inimitable Phil Dean.
Absolutely.
This one of the best Phil Dean productions of the year.
Of course.
Without question.
They all are. Fantastic crew we have. It's been a fantastic, it's been a joy all year long.
I said this last year, I'll say it again. I've never worked with a group of people that were more unselfish and worked better together for each other than our ESPN bunch. Every one of those names you just called.
I didn't realize it took that many people to make us look good, guys.
Yeah,
but it takes more than that to make us look good.
Are you kidding me?
But they've done the best they could.
With what they've had to work with, huh?
They really are a wonderful team, and I've been with a lot of good teams.
Nice team out there in North Carolina. They've done a nice job tonight.
Yes, they have.
3rd and 9. One more timeout for each team. Curry again for Parker. Looking, no room. And the first hit by Dansby. And we'll look for the last timeout to be called here with 1:35. And Auburn hoping for a miracle, down 13 with now no more timeouts. Really a strange year for Auburn. They showed what they were capable of by knocking off #1 Florida. 3 games in a row. Duval won by last-minute field goals. Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, and then Florida. It kind of hit a wall at that point. And then it ended, assuming the loss here, with 3 straight that they'll have a hard time forgetting, especially being blown out at home by Alabama, and then the winner take all for the SEC West, won handily by LSU, and never got anything untracked at all on offense here tonight in Atlanta.
And as tough as all of that is, the fact remains that Auburn tied for the SEC West championship. And so with a young team and a lot of people coming back, they'll have a great deal to build from. They'll have to get this offense untracked and certainly get the basics back together. Such things as the center quarterback exchange that's been extremely costly to them tonight. Those kind of mistakes just really short-circuit an offense.
The good news, only 11 seniors, over 70% of their team, freshmen, redshirt freshmen, and sophomores. So a team that wasn't really expected to do much, and as you said, tied for the West this year, will have much higher expectations and probably much greater possibilities the next couple of years.
Another great thing about this North Carolina team is they got 13 graduates playing in this game. 13 of these players have already got their diplomas.
Top defense of the ACC saying goodbye to 8 starters off this group. Problems on the snap. Well, Auburn will take over at the 20.
Well, I guess we shouldn't all be taking our bows just yet.
Yeah, it's okay for us to take our bows, but when those guys down there
possession changes,
start taking their bows too early, this is what happens. And it only takes a quick score here, an onside kick, and they're coming back down the field again, and all of a sudden you got Nightmare City for this Carolina team we've been bragging on so much. So that's what happens.
It's not that bad a snap at all.
The snap is fine.
Got to catch that.
It's just not concentrating by John Lafferty.
And Travaris Robinson comes up with the recovery for Auburn at the 20.
Now let's see if Auburn can do something with this incredible break.
No timeouts. They come after Cobb, and he gets rid of it in time to find McIntyre. Jarris McIntyre gets the clock stopped after a gain of 8 with 1:25.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, Bill, I really take my hat off to John Tenuta, the defensive coordinator for North Carolina, because he has got a game plan going that is just getting free people in the face of the Auburn quarterback all night long.
Yeah, and that scheme, that's just outsmarting the opposition.
Carter and McIntyre come wide right. Good snap for Cobb on 2nd and 2. And fires complete. Diamond breaks the tackle all the way in. Touchdown, Lorenzo Diamond. And it is not over.
And what about our big-time matchup between the two studs, Julius Peppers and Kendall Simmons? This time Simmons prevails with his pass protection for this entire series. I must say Peppers is a more physical player than I thought he would be. But Simmons handling that time, and the quarterback had plenty of time to make his throw. We'll take a look at it a little bit later.
Yeah, they picked the blitz up well that time, and as you said, gave Cobb some time.
Duval 85 out of 85, and tack on one more of that in his career. 16-10. They take the gift of the fumbled snap on the punt. Takes them only a couple of plays to get Diamond in.
Folks, when you're playing against a great athlete, you're a tackle, you set with your pads square, you move your feet, you put your hands in his numbers, and you keep your feet moving. Great job by Kendall Simmons on the outstanding Julius Peppers. Into the end zone, and all of a sudden, we have a football game.
Well, history prevails one way or another. We always seem to get a Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl decided by a touchdown or less. That's what we have right now. And upcoming, we'll have a Damon Duval onside kick.
And what you're looking for on this is, depending on the way he kicks it, either it bounces high in the air right away and it make it a jump ball of 10 yards, or it'll take about 2 quick hops and then it'll kick high in the air. You want most of your guys come down, you try and wipe some people out. You have people that wipe some people out, the other people that go for the ball.
Well, in college football, you can't
wipe them out.
Yeah,
the ball. Yeah, right.
You can only hit them after the ball arrives. So in the NFL, it's different, and it's dangerous. I used to play up there in the front.
Let's try and cheat, though. Let them try and cheat a little bit.
Mike,
all right.
I've talked to you about that again and again. We've had 2 whole years to work on it.
What if you act like you didn't mean to hit the guy and you ran into him?
If you act like you didn't mean to, then it'd probably be okay. By Golic rules. But the officials might not see it your way.
Sports Center coming up as soon as we complete the peach. And Carolina has called its last timeout, having seen how Tuberville is going to line up his onside kick team. Michelle?
Well, John Bunting has a unique angle on being a champion, Dave. He says being punched in the nose is aggravating. It hurts, and sometimes you're not able to overcome that in a fight. He goes on to say football is an absolute fight each week. The players and staffs that can get busted in the nose and rally, those are the ones who win championships. And Bill, I think the Tar Heels just got a slight punch in the nose.
They got pulverized, and they're bleeding profusely from the nose, and it's going to be more pronounced if this thing gets into the blue shirts.
Here comes the big hop, never comes. It went right into the hands of Richard Moore.
And Richard Moore made the perfect play. What you teach your front people in onside kick is to be aggressive. Don't stand there and wait for the ball to play you. It'll run right up your shirt. He jumped on that ball, got on it quickly, and secured it, and probably secured the game in the process.
That one's on the kicker, too. They work on these. You got to be able to get that ball to hop in the air. This one, 2 little ones, and then you need that big one. Right there should have been the big one. It goes about chest high. Good shortstop blocking the ball.
Yep. And Carolina can run it out. They do not have to make a first down. All they got to do is take a knee and run this clock out because Auburn has no timeout.
And Damon hard on himself now.
Yep.
Had a Peach Bowl record night punting.
Ooh, favorite formation for John Bunting.
And our Capital One players of the game. As Auburn can do nothing to stop the clock. The entire defense, it's hard to pick just one star as they hold the Tigers to 176 yards, force 3 turnovers, and get a half dozen sacks. 3 of those credited to Ryan Sims, who played all year in the shadow of Julius Peppers. Lots of congratulations to go around for that group.
We talked about the build-up for Auburn and the young players. And for this North Carolina team, they have a pretty good player in Darian Durant going to take over now. I don't think they'll be rotating next year. I think it'll be Durant's job.
Well, I think he's a very good player. His passing numbers were good this year. He showed poise, and most importantly, he showed the capacity to lead this team with a spark.
It's over. 7-5-7.
Well, it makes 16 years out of the last 18. The Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl decided by 7 or less. And Auburn made it a game by capitalizing on the fumbled punt snap by Lafferty. Carolina hangs on, and they end a 5-year losing streak for the Atlantic Coast Conference in the Peach. Our final, North Carolina 16, Auburn 10. For Mike Golic, Bill Curry, Michelle Tafoya, our entire ESPN crew, Dave Barnett, so long from Atlanta, and Sports Center is next. Happy New Year.